जानकारी गोपनीय रखी जाएगी।
निभाए अपनी जिम्मेदारी, एनएसओ को दे सही जानकारी।
क्रिकेट मैच की बारीकियां समझाते एक्सपर्ट्स हों या शेयरों पर दाव लगाते स्टॉक ब्रोकर्स या फिर मौसम का अनुमान लगाते वैज्ञानिक, सभी का आधार है आंकड़े। आंकड़े यानी स्टैटिस्टिक्स ही दिखाते हैं पूरी तस्वीर। जब जीवन का कोई भी पहलू आंकड़ों से अछूता नहीं, तो कल्पना कीजिए राष्ट्र निर्माण में स्टैटिस्टिक्स की भूमिका कितनी अहम होगी। भारत प्रगति कर रहा है। लक्ष्य है 2030 तक विश्व की 3 सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्थाओं में शामिल होना। हमारा देश, जिसकी जनसंख्या का बड़ा हिस्सा है नौजवान, एक ऐसा डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड जिसकी ऊर्जा दुनिया बदल सकती है। देश का दृढ़ संकल्प है, कोई पीछे न छूट पाए। सरकार देशवासियों और विश्व के प्रति उत्तरदायी रहे। सामाजिक, आर्थिक और पर्यावरण के आयामों को समेटे 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स यानी SDGs विश्व का आह्वान है। पृथ्वी की रक्षा हो, प्राकृतिक संसाधनों का सही इस्तेमाल हो, सुशासन हो, सुनिश्चित हो सभी के लिए गरिमामय जीवन, ताकि कोई पीछे न छूट पाए।
सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट सभी देशों के लिए राष्ट्रीय उत्तरदायित्व का विषय है। आज हम यहाँ संयुक्त राष्ट्र में इसलिए हैं क्योंकि हम सभी यह मानते हैं कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय साझेदारी अनिवार्य रूप से हमारे सभी प्रयासों के केंद्र में होनी चाहिए।
सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स के सभी पहलुओं को संबोधित करते हैं भारत सरकार के कई कार्यक्रम और योजनाएं। टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल, जैसे जियो टैगिंग से संभव हुई बेहतर निगरानी और जवाबदेही। मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिक्स एंड प्रोग्राम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन यानी मॉस्पी ने तैयार किया नेशनल इंडिकेटर फ्रेमवर्क। इसमें है 300 से ज्यादा इंडिकेटर्स, ताकि रहे SDGs पाने की दिशा में हो रही प्रगति पर पैनी नजर। नीति आयोग केंद्रीय मंत्रालयों, राज्यों, UN एजेंसीज और सिविल सोसाइटी के साथ परामर्श के बाद ये इंडिकेटर्स निर्धारित हुए। इसके डेटा का वॉल्यूम और आकार इसे देश का अब तक का सबसे बड़ा मॉनिटरिंग फ्रेमवर्क बनाता है। अधिकतर डेटा प्राप्त होता है केंद्र और राज्यों की एजेंसियों से। डेटा की कमी या अंतर दूर करने के लिए मॉस्पी स्वयं भी सर्वे करता है। मॉस्पी हर नतीजे को परखता है नेशनल इंडिकेटर फ्रेमवर्क के पैमाने पर, ताकि हो सके विकास का वैज्ञानिक आंकलन और कमियों की पहचान। मॉस्पी देश का प्रतिनिधित्व करता है यूनाइटेड नेशंस के हर उस मंच पर जहां एसडीजीज से जुड़े आंकड़ों की बात हो। साथ ही मॉस्पी तालमेल स्थापित करता है अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संस्थाओं के साथ, जैसे यूएनएसडी, यूएनआरसी, यूनिसेफ, डब्ल्यूएचओ, आईएमएफ, एफएओ, आईएलओ तथा कई अन्य संस्थाएं। भारत बढ़ रहा है, बदल रहा है। हमारी कामना है एक खुशहाल भारत जो दुनिया में हो बेमिसाल। एसडीजीज प्राप्त करना इस दिशा में अहम कदम है। बहुत कुछ हासिल किया है हमने, लगातार प्रगति के पथ पर हैं हम। फिर भी बहुत कुछ है जो हासिल करना है। एसडीजीज प्राप्त कर हम सुनिश्चित कर सकते हैं आसान जिंदगी, बेहतर जिंदगी, ताकि कोई भी पीछे न छूट पाए। भारत प्रतिबद्ध है और देश के विकास पर मॉस्पी की नजर रहेगी हर पल, ताकि देशवासी अपने सपनों को साकार होते देख सकें।
हम पूरी तरह सबको साथ लेकर के चल सकते हैं और सबका साथ सबका विकास और अब सबका विश्वास, ये हमारा मंत्र है।
सुनो, इकोनॉमिक सेंसस के इन्यूमरेटर पड़ोस के शर्मा जी के ऑफिस आए थे। वो उनसे उनके कारोबार के बारे में जानकारी ले रहे थे।
हाँ तो
अब हम किसी को क्यों बताएं कि हम अपना कारोबार कैसे चला रहे हैं? ये कोई बताने वाली बात थोड़ी ही है।
क्यों नहीं है? जितना हम अपने काम के बारे में बताएंगे, सरकार हमारे कामकाज को बेहतर बनाने के लिए उतनी ही सही योजनाएं बना सकती है।
ऐसा? फिर तो तुम पूरी जानकारी देना।
दे दी, बिल्कुल सही और पक्की जानकारी।
तो आइए हम निभाएं अपनी जिम्मेदारी, हो रही आर्थिक गणना में दें सही जानकारी।
मल्होत्रा जी हिसाब के बड़े पक्के हैं।
अजी होना पड़ता है, हिसाब किताब ठीक ना हो तो प्लानिंग ठीक से नहीं होती।
इकोनॉमिक सेंसस भी देश की इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज के हिसाब किताब के लिए हो रहा है। सरकार को ये पता चल जाता है कि देश की आर्थिक प्रगति के लिए किस तरह की नीतियाँ और योजनाएं बनाई जाएं।
पर ये जानकारी हम देंगे कैसे?
देश भर में भारत सरकार द्वारा चयनित सीएससी के इन्यूमरेटर्स इस काम को करेंगे। जब भी ये इन्यूमरेटर्स आपके पास आएं, तो उन्हें
सही और पक्की जानकारी देंगे जी।
और देश के विकास में भागीदार बनिए।
अरे मन्ना भाई, कहाँ चले?
अरे तुम लोगों को नहीं पता, 7वीं आर्थिक गणना हो रही है।
ये क्या होती है?
अरे जैसे जनगणना होती है ना, वैसे ही होती है आर्थिक गणना।
ऐसी भी कोई गणना होती है?
बिल्कुल, हर जगह पहुंचेंगे भारत सरकार द्वारा चयनित सीएससी के इन्यूमरेटर और गिनती करेंगे कि देश में किस किस तरह के और कितने कारोबार हो रहे हैं।
लेकिन भैया इससे फायदा क्या होगा? अरे
जब देश में कोई आर्थिक नीति बनती है तो उसका सही सही इस्तेमाल होता है और गांव तरक्की करता है। तुम भी तरक्की कर रहे हो।
मैं जानती हूँ कि देश में 7वीं आर्थिक गणना हो रही है।
इसलिए हमारे देश के हर घर, भवन, दुकान, गोदाम की आर्थिक गणना की जा रही है।
काम चाहे छोटा हो या बड़ा, हर आर्थिक गतिविधि की जानकारी देना जरूरी है।
भाई अपने काम की सही और पक्की जानकारी देंगे तभी तो सही नीतियाँ और योजनाएं बनेंगी।
हर जानकारी गोपनीय रखी जा रही है।
इसलिए जब भी आपके पास आए भारत सरकार द्वारा चयनित सीएससी के इन्यूमरेटर्स, उन्हें सच्ची और पक्की जानकारी दीजिए,
क्योंकि हमारी जानकारी से
तैयार होगी
देश के आर्थिक भविष्य की
मजबूत नींव।
In 2015, as world leaders prepared themselves to adopt the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, India was ready. India had played a leading role in shaping the Sustainable Development Goals, which aim to end poverty,
protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. India's vision of Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas was already mirrored in the SDGs, and the world's largest democracy was already moving swiftly to nationalize the goals. Today, India continues to grow rapidly. But as home to 1/6 of the world's population, a large responsibility of the SDGs lies with India. Undoubtedly, if India meets the SDGs, the world will meet the SDGs. The Government of India continues to demonstrate its commitment to the SDGs by taking credible actions to drive the progress of the SDGs based on the national indicators.
Very good morning to everybody. Before we proceed, we just make 2-3 announcements. Kindly maintain the social distancing in this room, and we also have another room at 134, so minimum people can sit here, whoever are required. And may I also request everybody to kindly keep their mobile on a silent mode. Thank you so much. A very good morning to all the distinguished guests present in this hall and outside this hall, connected through various media modes, which in the words of Marshall McLuhan are essentially the extensions of a man. The purpose of this togetherness today is to celebrate the 14th Statistics Day 2020 and to commemorate the 127th birth anniversary of late Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, a notable thinker and widely accepted as the father of statistics in India. The themes for this year's Statistics Day are the Sustainable Development Goal 3 and 5, good health and well-being, and gender equality. I, on behalf of Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Government of India, and the entire fraternity, welcome you to this occasion. Statistics is arguably one of the most critically observed streams, having archived volumes of quotes about its characteristics. However, today I choose to remind of us all the homily of none other than George Bernard Shaw, stating, quote, "It is the mark of a truly intelligent person to be moved by statistics," unquote. Let Professor P.C. Mahalanobis was the one who moved by statistics inasmuch as the present statistical edifice in India stands as tall and robust as possible. To celebrate the occasion, we have with us on the dais Dr. Vivek Debroy, Chairman, Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister and President ISI, Sri Praveen Srivastava, Chief Statistician of India and the Secretary, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Sri A.K. Sadhu and Dr. Shailaja Sharma, NSO DGs, Sri P.C. Syriac and Sri S.V. Ramanamurthy, ADGs of NSO. This is an unprecedented celebration with all our offices, all the State Directorate of Economics and Statistics, the Indian Statistical Institute, as also several of our national and international partners of the statistical system joining us in cyberspace to make this gathering around 2,000 people strong. Now, I request Dr. Shailaja Sharma, DG, NSO, to extend a formal welcome to all the dignitaries and attendees for the celebration. Dr. Shailaja Sharma.
Good morning, all of you. It is my pleasure to welcome Shri Rao Inderjit Singh Ji, our Honorable Minister, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, who is with us on this event of 14th Statistics Day. I, on behalf of the Ministry, extend a warm welcome to the dignitaries on the dais, Dr. Vivek Debroy, Chairman, Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council and President, Indian Statistical Institute, Shri Praveen Shrivastava, Chief Statistician of India and Secretary MOSPI, Shri Asit Sadhu, DG NSO, Shri Siryak and Shri Ramana Murthy, ADGs NSO, representatives from the national and international organizations, award winners, honored colleagues, guests and friends. This virtual event is being attended by participants across the country. We are delighted to have you all in this celebration. As Pankaj has already said, in recognition of the invaluable contributions of the great visionary and renowned statistician, late Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, his birth anniversary, 29th June 2020, is celebrated as Statistics Day in the country to sensitize and popularize the applications of statistics among the people. Contributions of Professor Mahalanobis to the Indian statistical system are immense. You may recall that the theme for the 13th Statistics Day was Sustainable Development Goals. In continuation, the theme for this year's Statistics Day is Sustainable Development Goal 3, which is ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages, and Sustainable Development Goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Any discussion on these SDGs need to encompass all the 5 P's of SDGs: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnerships. In the specific case of SDG 3 and 5, we will have to understand the linkages between these 5 domains so as to effectively ensure good health and well-being, as also gender equality. Though too many choices are currently available for data collection and storage, but for monitoring the SDGs, a data system robust enough that can sift low-quality data, integrate different data sets, remove data silos, and bridge data gaps is needed. We also need to explore unconventional data sources. I hope some of these perspectives will be discussed during the day in the event. Today's speakers are Ma'am Preeti Sudan, Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ms. Renata Lok Desalian, UN Resident Coordinator in India, Ms. Anita Bhatia, Deputy Executive Director, UN Women, Dr. Enrique, Director General, National Institute of Statistics and Geography, Mexico, Dr. Gemma, Director, Statistics Division, UNESCAP, Bangkok, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, President FICCI and Joint Managing Director, Apollo Hospitals Limited, and Dr. Ashutosh Ojha, Deputy Director General, NSO. I extend my warm welcome to our esteemed speakers. This event will felicitate the winners of this year's Professor P.C. Mahalanobis National Award in Official Statistics, Professor P.V. Sukhatme Award, and on-the-spot essay writing competition for postgraduate students. I congratulate all the awardees for their notable contribution in the field of statistics and hope for their sustained efforts in working towards improvement of the Indian statistical system. I invite all of you to participate in the proceedings of the day and hope this event will be helpful in our future endeavors towards achievement of SDGs, as well as widening the reach of statistics and its applications. As someone has said, that not the statistics of the entire world cannot really measure the warmth of a smile, but I can say that if we have good statistics, it will facilitate policies which will definitely bring smiles on millions of faces. With this, I once again welcome all of you to this event. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful words, especially the last one of bringing smiles to everyone's faces. We do hope that this event brings smiles to all of the attendees. Disruption is the only constant is the latest mantra, with the digital age pushing change at great velocities and with a push that spurs innovation. Just like any other system, the statistical system also needs the anchorage and guidance which can pull it through these disruptions. India's national statistical system is even more challenging since we are quite decentralized, both laterally and vertically, with our presence across all ministries and in all states. So each one of our officers is faced with a unique problem and a range of options for resolution. To handle disruptions, we need leadership maturity. The person at the helm of affairs has to be necessarily a mentor, a coach, and a visionary. We are extremely fortunate to have Mr. Praveen Srivastava as the Chief Statistician of India and Secretary of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. He has instilled in us a culture of persistence, positivity, and proactiveness, so that whatever the challenge and whatever the issue, no road is too long and no wall is too high for us. He has put in place the Vision 2024 for the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation to ensure that the statistical system not only performs in adverse situations like the current COVID-19 situation, but also outperforms all its expectations. Sir, I now welcome you to address the gathering.
Thank you and a very good morning. Respected Rao Indrajit Singh Ji, Honorable Minister of State, Independent Charge for the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Dr. Vivek Debroy, Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council's Chairman, and also President of the ISI Council, Professor Bimal Roy, Chairperson of the National Statistical Commission, Professor Sangmitra Bandyopadhyay, Director, Indian Statistical Institute, Dr. P.T. Sudan, my colleague in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare as Secretary, the other secretaries, chief secretaries, and the officers who are attending remotely, a very warm welcome to you and all my officers in the ministry as well. Today is a proud moment because, as my colleague just mentioned, no wall is too high, and we have accepted this as a challenge by hosting and organizing this event on a virtual platform. And I would welcome the more than 1,000+ people who have already registered and are online. I am sure that more and more people will be joining us, and this is really a good event that we have been able to rope in so many stakeholders in one shot. On the occasion of the 14th Statistics Day, as I said, it is the birth anniversary of Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, the doyen of statistics and the father of the national statistical system in the country. We may commemorate this event because we not only honor his contribution, but we also rededicate ourselves, recommit ourselves to improving the statistical system so that it remains to be relevant and pertinent to the decision-making process. So this year, we are following up on the theme of the last year, 2019, when we had taken Sustainable Development Goal as the main theme. This year, we are taking it forward by identifying two goals, SDG 3, that is ensuring health for all, and SDG 5, regarding gender parity. Both of these are important goals for the country. This recent global pandemic has opened up the horizon of many opportunities, many challenges, and the statistical system too has embraced the opportunities and challenges, accepted the challenges, and we have taken a lot of strides in terms of moving ahead in these challenging times. So as we move forward, we will realize that the new normal will talk about new ways of doing business, new ways of acting, new ways of collecting data, and all of this is very relevant, and it's not India alone, but all the countries globally are facing this challenge of how do you collect data in a way in a global pandemic where without data, action cannot be evidence-based and it cannot be targeted. So this is an opportune time for us to rededicate our lives to the importance of data and statistics and how it helps in decision-making. The role of the Ministry of Statistics, as you all know, is not only on reporting for the Sustainable Development Goals, but we also evolve indicators which are relevant to the goals and adapted to the requirements of the national socioeconomic scenario. It is an evolutionary process, and in this evolution, we continuously define, refine, and update the indicators based on the data sourced from various ministries, state governments, and other agencies, so that we can not only look at where we are, but where we need to go. On the basis of the trajectories that we have been able to see, we need to accelerate our actions. If we have to achieve the SDGs by 2030, it's only a decade away, and there's a lot to go. It's a journey begun, and all of us are committed and dedicated to achieving the goals, not only from the ministry, but from the entire country. We will definitely be working hard towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. We developed the National Indicator Framework, which I mentioned, that it is important, it is relevant, because it tracks the progress, and we continuously update it based on the not only existing data sources, but the new data sources that emerge. This is an area where, with constant research, we have been, in fact, collaborating with a large number of research institutions to make the indicators more relevant, capturable, measurement issues, standards. All of these are discussed and debated in detail before they are adopted and included in the National Indicator Framework. As my colleague mentioned about the Vision 2024 document, this is something we have evolved in the last 1 year, and we have based it on the UN generic statistical business process model, which has been adopted by more than 50 countries, and we too are marching ahead in terms of adapting those goals based on the Indian requirement. The other intervention that the ministry has done is the National Integrated Information Portal. We are marching ahead in that and leveraging technology so it becomes a single repository for all Indian official statistics that can be seen, viewed, and will be available in the public domain very shortly. We have a short curtain raiser event on that as well. In addition to my mention about the challenges in data collection, we have also revamped and revised our data collection processes. We are educating our enumerators on how to maintain social distance and still be able to collect data. At the same time, we are also developing a generalized survey solution. It's going to be branded by the name of eSigma, and this will pave the way for more intelligent, more easy data to be captured using mobile devices and PDAs. So this revolution in data capturing will be supplemented and augmented by telephonic interviews as well as by web-based interfaces. This so-called in the statistical parlance is moving away from PAPI to CAPI to CATI and CAVI. So all these interventions will be the new normal for the Ministry of Statistics, and not only for the ministry, but the entire statistical system, where traditional data capturing mechanisms will be facing a lot of challenges in adapting itself to the requirements of the country. We have also taken advantage of the expertise available with the World Bank. We are negotiating a World Bank loan, and it's been approved by the World Bank. We are marching ahead in that, aimed at improving data quality in the entire statistical system at the national, state, and other levels. So, as I said, we are marching ahead. It's a journey well begun, and we will reach our destination. And I hope that in the next few months or next 1 year, you will see significant changes in the way data gets collected and processed and disseminated in the shortest time possible. I also would like to take this opportunity that we are also engaging with the common man through social media, various other mediums, so that people can keep abreast of the changes that are taking place, and whatever we are doing is available on the social media platform as well. As is this event, it is being live cast on the social media channels. I would like to congratulate the winners of the Professor P.C. Mahalanobis National Award in Official Statistics. This award and the P.V. Sukhatme Award 2020, these are awards that we announce frequently, and this Mahalanobis Award is a new award instituted last year on Statistics Day. I am proud to state that we have been able to select a winner, and we will be congratulating and commemorating them on their outstanding contribution in the field of statistics. On the field of gender statistics, I am also proud and happy to inform that the Indian Statistical Service has 5 posts of Director General, and I'm happy to announce that 3 of them are females. So I hope we are taking a positive direction, and we will continue to do so. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, CSI, for making this context of the theme placed for all of us to know about our progresses in this area. Statistics in isolation is just a number. Combine it with the inferences from economics, polity, and sociology, and we get the sure-shot prescriptions for all our questions. It is in this regard our next speaker is an obvious choice. Dr. Vivek Debroy, Chairman of the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister and the President ISI Council, has authored over 100 books in the field of economics, polity, Indology, and Sanskrit. His knowledge and insights in various fields of consciousness have been recognized by the world of management, economics, and Sanskrit, to name a few. He has been conferred the title of Vachaspati by Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri, Rashtriya Sanskrit Vidyapeeth. May I request you, sir, to enlighten us with your thoughts on the expectations from the statistical system.
The Honorable Minister Rao Inderjeet Singh Ji, my friend and colleague Praveen Srivastav, Dr. Shailaja Sharma, Professor Bimal Roy, the Director of ISI, Professor Shanghamitra Bandyopadhyay, Dr. Preeti Sudan, Renata Locke Dasalian, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, and all the others who I cannot see. It has been my good fortune to be present at such an event on earlier occasions also. But this is probably the first time we are having one under such difficult circumstances in this virtual mode. I congratulate MOSPI for having decided to go ahead with this 29 June program despite the difficult circumstances we are in. Something like the SDGs or the MDGs that were a precursor do not resonate in a country if these are ever perceived to be external goals, targets, and indicators. But with the MDGs and even with the SDGs, particularly so with the SDGs, the aspirations, the goals, the targets that the MDGs took us towards, and the targets and the indicators that the SDGs are taking us towards are aspirations for India, for Government of India as well. And therefore, there are movements in the same direction, and many of the Government of India's policies and initiatives have been designed to ensure that India performs better on such developmental indicators, on such social indicators, with or without the SDGs. I'm particularly delighted that this year's focus is not just on SDG 5, but also SDG 3. If you cast your mind back to a time when the SDGs were being worked out, and given what has happened, if you were to ask yourself, would the SDGs have been articulated differently? I think the answer would have been yes. Because no one anticipated the scale of something like the present pandemic. You will correct me and say that SDG 3 does mention the word epidemic. Of course it does. But the point I'm making is, we would have probably attached much, much more importance to something like this. Insofar as India is concerned, one of the lessons from the present crisis, which is still an ongoing one, is that a lot depends on decentralized governance capacity. And India being a large country, there is heterogeneity in governance, there is heterogeneity in development within India. So when one looks at something like the indicators, it is not only important to try and get all India indicators, it is also important to get indicators that are as decentralized as possible, which flags the quality of data collection right from the bottom, because data are built up from the bottom. And although everyone here knows this, let me therefore mention again what has been stated, that this is Professor Mahalanobis' birthday. And Professor Mahalanobis was a builder of institutions and organizations, and much that we know today and recognize today as the Indian statistical system has been built up by him. MOSPI has been doing a phenomenal task in terms of bringing out our progress in terms of the SDG indicators. But one of the issues we face is not only the decentralized quality of data, but the time lags. For example, and this is understandable, the progress indicators today will have almost nothing, actually nothing, because of time lags on what COVID has done. What COVID has done and will do, not only for India but for all countries in the world, is to flag health, to flag expenditure on health, to flag efficiency of expenditure on health, and often to also flag something that people rarely are prepared to recognize, which is that given paucity of government resources, there has to be a switching of public expenditure, a reprioritization of public expenditure given the paucity of resources, not just efficiency, not just more public expenditure, but also reallocating public expenditure towards health, down towards that decentralized bit. Today we have a galaxy of speakers. George Bernard Shaw was mentioned. Well, George Bernard Shaw's plays tended to have long prefaces, but there were the plays after that. With no disrespect to Praveen and I are just the prefaces. The main play is going to come. So there are plenty of people who have much more expertise to educate us about what we need to do, not only in terms of the classic indicators of infant mortality, maternal mortality, gender parity, but the newer indicators that we can evolve real time or as close to real time as is possible. It is not only these speakers, but it is award winners like the award winner for Professor Mahalanobis and Professor Sukhatme Awards who will educate us. I hope to learn. Thank you once again for inviting me here today.
Thank you so much, sir, for the very interesting and very enlightening speech. And we also, like you, look forward to the other speakers of the day to learn more about how do we tackle such crises. Statistics is all about standards. Adherence to standards can ensure that data about the same characteristic are collected and communicated in the same way every time. It also enables data from different sources to be compared on a consistent basis. The National Statistical Commission is our guide and mentor in all our efforts to ensure that we adhere to international standards and deliver as promised. The National Statistical Commission is presently headed by Dr. Bimal Kumar Roy, who is considered a pioneer in cryptography and information security. Dr. Roy has been awarded the Padma Shri, India's fourth highest civilian honor, recognizing his accomplishments and contribution to education. In 2019, we were fortunate that Dr. Roy was appointed as the chairperson of the National Statistical Commission, Government of India. We now have a message from Dr. Bimal Kumar Roy, Chairman, National Statistical Commission, reminiscing about Professor P.C. Mahalanobis and his thoughts about the role of the Indian statistical system in the achievement of SDGs.
My beloved colleagues and friends, this year the scenario is very different than the other years. Usually we celebrate the Statistics Day in a very colorful fashion, through speeches, through different demonstrations, meetings, discussions, and a lot of interactions, planning for future, and so on and so forth. Because of this current pandemic situation, physical interaction is not being possible. So we are trying to get as much as possible through this video conference and internet, or overall by the means of technology. So there's some difficulty in it, but I hope we can possibly still interact through this medium. Statistics Day was announced by the then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh in 2006 to commemorate the birthday of Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, who is considered to be the father of statistics in India and also a very, very important personality in the international domain. So before I get into our national policy in statistics, I'd like to brief a few lines about P.C. Mahalanobis. We call him as PCM or just a professor. Well, PCM has contributed many outstanding things in the domain of statistics. But however, what I consider to be the most important is the introduction of the Mahalanobis distance. And I will just tell you a little story behind it. Maybe some of you know, for them it's a repeat. For the others who don't know, I think this is a very important thing to note. And especially for the academicians like me, that we must know such events. So when PCM was trying to compare two ethnic groups in context of anthropological study, now how to distinguish such ethnic groups? So there must be some notion of distance. You look at, say, a Caucasian man and look at an Indian usual person, or look at some tribal person like the Sautals in West Bengal rural area. Now you can see that they are different, but how distant they are. So what is the distance between me and a Sautal person, or the distance between the Sautal person and the Caucasian? Now we have some notions about this distance. We know that I am probably more close to a local tribal person than to a Caucasian person. These are all perceptions. So he wanted to get to a measure of this distance. So he thought of different features, and by features he was trying to define a distance, which is going to be a little different from the Euclidean distance. So we could just compute the features like length of the shoulder, the area of the skull, or the length of the fingers, so on and so forth. I could have defined so many and so many parameters, which I call features. And then we could also compute usual Euclidean distance. But then he thought very basic ideas like, if one feature or one attribute has more variability, so shall I give more importance to it, or shall I give less importance to it? Now he didn't want that all the features will get equal importance, and in terms of variation he tried to define the importance. This is the first step. Second step was, if two features have a good correlation, then taking them twice is basically giving more importance to this particular feature. So how do I get a distance, just eliminating this effect of this high correlation? So putting all these things together, he came out with a formula. Now when I teach in my BSTAT class, I tell them exactly from the Euclidean distance, if I incorporate these ideas, I end up getting into mathematically to the Mahalanobis distance, which I see in the formula like sigma minus blah blah blah. So he wrote this paper, he submitted to Journal of the Royal Statistical Society. He gets rejected. I think then he tried to publish it 5-6 leading statistical journals, and all the journals rejected his paper. This was a lesson to researchers like us also. In fact, CRO told us this story when we were the budding researchers, that even PCM got rejected with this one. And then he was so frustrated, but he will publish. He published in a very, very less significant journal, which is the Bulletin of the Asiatic Society. They bring out a quarterly bulletin, which is published there. As a research value or recognition, this stands nowhere against all the statistical reputed journals. But then what happened? This has become the most cited statistical paper on earth. Why statistical paper? Even in science, it is one of the most leading cited papers. Asiatic Society gets importance, and he just called a anthropological distance, and people now call it Mahalanobis distance. He didn't give the name distance. So there are two lessons: innovative way of thinking, application of statistical ideas to real life problems, which PCM was very fond of, and he worked all life with this one. So theory has to be there, but the theory has to follow with practices, and that's how he developed his statistical career. Or even when he developed ISI, I mentioned just one very important story. In the first convocation of ISI, he arranged to confer honorary DSc to two very important persons. Okay, and three. Sir Ronald Fisher, father of statistics, a utmost theoretician, Professor Kolmogorov, and an utmost applied person, Walter Schwartz. So just look at the petition. So he invited them, and they were conferred honorary DSc. And then he picked up the application of statistics in the government domain, and basically he set up the NSSO, he set up the CSO, he set up the entire statistical system. Now let me not talk anymore on his statistical system development. Let me come to today now. How we are now behaving in the line of PCM. So in the 70th session of the United Nations, held in 25th September 2015, it was decided that the world would set up some goal on sustainable developments. And they set up 17 sustainable development goals, henceforth I'll call it SDG, and along with some 169 targets associated with these goals. And how do we monitor these things? UN has defined 232 global indicators. So these things should be computed on a yearly basis at least to monitor the growth in these development ideas. In India, what we have done, we have accepted this. We have accepted this and implemented this idea. We have already formed a national indicator framework NIF, which is actually handled by this Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and we have defined 306 national indicators on the basis of our national view, national importance, and also identified the sources of data and periodicity. And we do compute it on a yearly basis, and we try to be up to date. But as I see from the data available with the ministry, I think we are updated up to 2018. So the 1920 report I didn't see yet. Maybe it's under compilation. But we are at it. We are monitoring it. Now we must understand that the MOSPI doesn't contribute to the growth. We only measure the growth. We give what I call an indicator to the government that this is how we are progressing or we are regressing, and what could be the possible measure to improve the scenario. This is our job from the ministry. And this year, the main theme for this realistic step is SDG 3 and SDG 5. What is SDG 3? SDG 3 is to ensure healthy lifestyle and promote well-being of persons of all age. And SDG 5 is to promote or ensure gender equality and empower all women and girls. So these two are the focus for this statistics day. So I'll just brief a little bit about this and then I'll conclude my talk. Now in SDG 3, we have got about 42 indicators defined, which are being computed by the ministry. And for SDG 5, we have defined 28 indicators, which are being computed. For each indicator, we set up a goal also. So for example, for SDG 3, when we are trying to say ensure healthy lives, I'll talk about maybe 2 or 3 indicators. One is the infant mortality under 5. Now we have decided a goal to be 25 per 1,000. Now we are not there yet, but every year we are computing and we see that starting from 2015 we are actually improving on these indicators. Okay, and if there is some, but the growth of the indicator is slow, then you exactly know which sectors have to be improved, and this is what we are pointing out. Maybe another indicator, let me mention. This is during the delivery, some mothers actually lose life. So we have set up a target that per 1 lakh delivery, there should not be more than 70 deaths. Well, we like to make it 0, but we want to have the infrastructure ready in such a way that it will be less than 70 per 1 lakh live births. And we are pretty much at it. We're improving day by day. I think at this point, probably we are a little bit more than 70, but we are getting there. And now, what does this report actually, this indicator say? There are many kinds of data is put into this computation. We can identify where exactly in the health infrastructure we have to get into it and improve the scenario so that we can reach this goal. Okay. I can talk of another indicator like neonatal death. Okay. During the pregnancy, there is abortion, or during the birth, the child dies, not the mother. Even that we don't want to be more than 10 in 1,000. But I think we are doing much better there. It's probably about 14 or 15 right now. But we would like to get it below 10. So this is about SDG 3. For SDG 5, there are many indicators. As I told you, there are 28 indicators. I'll talk about 2 indicators, maybe 2 or 3 indicators. One indicator is crime against women. The National Crime Research Bureau has all the records, but at least reported criminal offences against women. And we don't want this to be more than 50 per 1 lakh women. Okay, and at this point, we are a little above. And many people complain that many of the criminal offences get unreported, but that we are trying to capture it through surveys. But from the official record from National Crime Bureau, we see that we are still about 100, which I would say it has reduced. So it used to be 200 even in 2013-14. But our target is to bring it less than 50 per 1 lakh women. Like dowry-related offences reported, we want this to be 0. And there is also a steady drop in that rate. And now I think this is even less than much less than 1%. So all these things are usually counted or computed through the government records. But sometimes we also have additional survey studies to enrich this domain and do probably better computations. About gender equality, one thing we have seen that if I count the number of officers in the government sector, okay, we should like if there's gender equality, we should have 50% ladies and 50% gentlemen, but we are far from there. So I think this is 15% ladies and 85% men. Maybe you can just look at your ISIS cadre. Out of 800 cadres, I don't know how many cadres at this point. I know 8 sanction posts. I don't think there are more than 15% or 20% ladies for sure. But you can check. So this is something we'd like to get 50% until we achieve, but I would like to get at least 1/3 to reach that stage very quickly, maybe in another couple of years. Look at the number of MPs and MLAs. Government set a target of at least 1/3. So reservation is one way which we employ it at the lowest level, but I think it has to come from the societal change, the mindset that we expect to get 1/3 of our legislators at both at state, both at the central level to be ladies, and we are far beyond that. But these are social phenomena, political outlook that has to change. But I hope eventually we'll get it there. And this is the goal of the government. And as I told you again, that this ministry cannot give a solution, but not a direct solution. We give a solution. We try to find out the factors. We do the computation. We do the analysis to the best of our capability. Try to find out what could be the lacunas, what could be the way forward to achieve our goals. Thank you. Have a wonderful year ahead. And we hope that in a month or so, we start meeting in person and start discussions. I think there is no alternative to a physical interaction and discussion in person. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, the Chairman, sir. The Indian Statistical Institute is yet another significant contribution of Professor Mahalanobis. From the humble beginning as a training institute in 1931, the institute has created a niche for itself in the areas of research, teaching, and application of statistics, natural sciences, and social sciences. As we are all aware, in 1959, the institute gained the status of an institution of national importance by an act of Indian Parliament. The institute presently is headed by Dr. Sukhatme Award. Perhaps SDG 5 has been met, the first time being the female director of the institute. She has received several awards or fellowships, including the Bhatnagar Prize, Infosys Award, TWAS Prize, just to present a glimpse. It gives immense pleasure to us that she has sent her recorded speech, Dr. Sukhatme Award, through recorded speech.
Honorable Minister of Statistics and Program Implementation, Sri Rao Inderjeet Singh, Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Sri Praveen Srivastav, esteemed colleagues from MUSPI and the Indian Statistical Institute, as well as other organizations, guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to participate in the 14th National Statistics Day that the country is celebrating today to commemorate the contributions of the legendary Prashant Chandra Mahalanobis, the father of the Indian statistical system. The themes of National Statistics Day 2020 are ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all at all ages, and achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. We at the Indian Statistical Institute are committed to both these goals and more. In fact, by having a woman director for the first time, the Institute has conclusively demonstrated its commitment to women's empowerment. Mahalanobis was born in 1893 in an affluent family in Kolkata. From a young age, he was surrounded by intellectuals and social reformers. His family was deeply involved in the Brahmo Samaj movement. Completing his bachelor's degree in physics from Presidency College, where he was taught by the likes of Jagadish Chandra Bose and Prafulla Chandra Ray, and had Meghnad Shah and Subhash Chandra Bose as his juniors, Mahalanobis moved to England for higher studies. Around the time of the First World War, while doing his tripos in natural sciences in Cambridge University, Mahalanobis decided to briefly visit India before taking up a research position in physics at the Cavendish Laboratory in Cambridge. Chance played its game at this crucial juncture when his ship got delayed because of the war, and he happened to find Biometrica, a leading journal of statistics, in the library of King's College. Reading the articles, his fascination with the discipline started, and the seeds of India's future prowess in statistics were sown. Mahalanobis was an institution builder, starting with the Statistical Laboratory in Presidency College. He founded the Indian Statistical Institute in 1931 that till date remains one of the best institutions for the study and research in statistics and mathematics and allied disciplines such as economics and computer science. He spearheaded the second five-year plan of India based on his Mahalanobis model. As is expected for any new model, he had his fair share of supporters and detractors. He established the National Sample Survey Office in 1950 and helped set up the Central Statistical Organization, two agencies that have played key roles in the statistical system of the country. These are now part of the National Statistical Office of MOSPI. He founded Sankhya, the Indian Journal of Statistics. Mahalanobis made lasting theoretical and applied contributions in sample survey that remain relevant even today in this unprecedented situation of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a befitting time to do a little introspection. Have we been able to do justice to the vision of Mahalanobis? India, with its huge population base, generates data at mind-boggling scales and varieties. Why have we not yet succeeded in exploiting this data to generate knowledge and wealth for the country? To my mind, our inability to establish an ecosystem that spurs curiosity, creates a sense of wonder, drives innovation, and builds commitment to the nation appears to be one of the main reasons. I have sensed in the past several years a gradual erosion of trust and faith in the system. Possibly, the misuse of flexibility has resulted in this situation, but in the process, what has suffered is the will to take decisive action and to be creative. Nevertheless, I hope we will be able to build an alternative mechanism that will go beyond the straight-jacketed, one-size-fits-all system. Today's program was planned to be held in Kolkata to be organized jointly by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation and the Indian Statistical Institute. The pandemic came in the way, but technology has come to the rescue. By celebrating the event online, we are able to reach out, I hope, to many more young minds. I hope that the legacy that is Prashanta Chandra inspires our younger generation to think, to innovate, and to see knowledge being put to use for human welfare, social development, and for creation of wealth for the country. I take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Statistics and Program Implementation, the Secretary, and all colleagues in MOSPI on behalf of the entire Indian Statistical Institute family. Your continuous support has been crucial for the well-being of this institute. I wish all a very happy National Statistics Day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take good care of yourselves and your loved ones. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. And I think we all agree that stay safe and stay healthy is the message that we all need to take today. Being on time is a sign of respect for us. In the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, delivering on time is a sign of respect for our users and a reinforcement of our promise to provide timely information to all our users. It just seems apt that on this day, we give to our users the latest reports of India's National Indicator Framework on the Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. There are 3 reports that are being released on the website of our ministry today. The first is the Sustainable Development Goals National Indicator Framework Progress Report 2020 version 2.1. The report gives time series information on the SDG National Indicator Framework from the baseline year, that is 2015-16, to the latest available. In this progress report, we have included information on 13 indicators for the Goal 17, which was not included in the baseline report released last year. The progress report is an all-encompassing report. However, we do realize that different users require different components of the progress report. To suit our users, we have compiled 2 concise publications, one giving the data snapshot and the other a complete listing of the National Indicator Framework. The data snapshot of the SDG National Indicator Framework version 2.1 is a handy publication which gives just the time series data and the data sources for the SDG national indicators. This publication will facilitate the time series data and this publication will facilitate the analysis of trends of the various national indicators vis-a-vis the targets. The National Indicator Framework is an evolving framework, and we in the Ministry of Statistics strive to have indicators for all the 17 goals and all the 169 targets for effective monitoring. To inform our users the details of the latest National Indicator Framework, the 3rd SDG report being released today is the latest version of the National Indicator Framework of SDGs, that is version 2.1. This user-friendly compilation of the national indicators gives the complete list of indicators along with the corresponding data sources and periodicity. Moving on to the next release of the day, which is the ISS Cadre Management Portal. Happy employees are equal to a successful organization. Employee engagement has been proven to improve productivity and customer satisfaction. In the government, the role of the cadre management is to fulfill the functional objectives of the service by providing a satisfying career to its members and fulfilling their legitimate career objectives. The 800 people strong Indian Statistical Service, posted across the length and breadth of the country, is the backbone of the national statistical system. And today, we are releasing the Indian Statistical Service Cadre Management Portal with a view to ensure a single window for handling all cadre management matters. This portal will help not only inculcate fraternity among the members of the service, since they'll get to know each other better, but also facilitate effective interaction between the cadre and the service members. We also take this opportunity to announce that the Ministry of Statistics will be very soon launching 2 innovative technology-based solutions, the National Integrated Information Portal, or the NIIP, and the Electronic Survey Instrument and General Multimodal Application, or the eSigma. The National Integrated Information Portal is being developed as an umbrella information portal for collating all official statistics in the country. The portal will provide to the users a high-end platform for data analytics and an informative dashboard giving timely and credible statistics for a range of indicators. On the survey side, MOSPI will also be launching the Electronic Survey Instrument and General Multimodal Application, or the eSigma, which will support end-to-end digitization for all socio-economic surveys of the ministry, right from setting up of the survey, data capturing, validation, monitoring the survey progress to core processing, resulting in more efficient surveys and a significant reduction in the time taken for the release of
Good morning, all respected dignitaries, all the participants of the Statistics Day virtual celebration, and dear friends. Happy National Statistics Day. I am Ashutosh Ojha, Deputy Director General in Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Government of India. I have been given the responsibility of giving a small presentation on the National Indicator Framework or SDGs with specific reference to this Statistics Day theme, that is SDG 3, which is good health and well-being, and SDG 5, which is on gender equality. Next. Just to recapitulate, you are all aware about 17 SDGs, 169 associated targets, and presently identified 231 distinct global indicators after 2020 comprehensive review to address these SDGs. So these are the 17 SDG goals on your screen. Next. SDGs were adopted by United Nations in September 2015, which came into effect from 1/1/2016, and it addresses all the three dimensions of development, that is social, economic, and environmental development. Next. You can see that there are, to achieve SDGs by 2030, there are 231 distinct global indicators identified at global level. Next. Actually, SDGs are comprehensive development agenda which are to be implemented by all member countries, and India is also committed for implementation of SDG in country based on its priority and needs. Now, let us understand the institutional arrangement at national level in India as far as SDGs are concerned. Niti Aayog is responsible for overall monitoring and implementation of SDG. To integrate SDGs into countries' ongoing national and sub-national policies and programs, Niti Aayog has mapped the SDGs with centrally sponsored program of the concerned central ministries or departments. On the other hand, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has developed a national indicator framework after a series of consultation with all its various stakeholders, with more than 300 indicators with data source and periodicity. This national indicator framework will be used for tracking the progress of SDGs in the country. Besides this, there are more than 25 line ministries which are coordinating with MOSPI for providing data on SDGs. Then Ministry of External Affairs plays a supporting and coordinating role in international negotiations as far as SDGs are concerned. Next. Just to apprise you all that the government has constituted a high-level steering committee at the national level under the chairmanship of Chief Statistician of India and Secretary MOSPI to periodically review and refine and modify the national indicator framework. HLSC has been periodically refining the national indicator framework, and you can see that presently in the NIF version 2.1, there are 302 national indicators. And this is the goal-wise distribution of national indicator framework. You can see that in goal 3, that is, there are 42 national indicators, whereas in goal 5, there are 29 national indicators. Out of this 302 indicators, data is available for 250 indicators, of which 78% are coming from administrative records, 21% from survey data, and 1% from census data. Next. Now I would like to apprise you all about some of the recent development of India on SDGs. Just now we have released baseline SDG NIF Progress Report 2020 on this Statistics Day, and the last Statistics Day we released the baseline report on SDG NIF. This report this report is having time series data. This progress report is having time series data, the latest data available with the data source ministries at the time of finalization of the report. So this report will help to track the progress of SDGs national indicator till date. Besides this, we also released the data snapshot and national indicator framework version 2.1 in handbook form. Next. We also have SDG India dashboard, which is a unified data repository on SDG indicators and has the provision of providing data at disaggregated level. This dashboard we have developed with the help of United Nations in India. So these all reports and dashboard which I have just mentioned, we can access from the website of Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Next. Now coming to this year's Statistics Day theme, that is SDG 3 and SDG 5. So first I will talk on SDG 3, which is about good health and well-being. For this goal, the main data source ministries are Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and Ministry of Home Affairs. We have taken figures from our progress report and presented through graph. One can see that a sharp decline in the new cases of disease Kala-Azar during the period 2015 to 2019. And in the other graph, you can see the government spending in health sector has increased significantly over the period. Next. The other theme of this Statistics Day is SDG 5, which is on gender equality. Here in India, the major data source ministries for this goal are Ministry of Women and Child Development, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. On the screen, one can see that the significant increase in the percentage of women candidates out of total candidates contesting election in 2019 Lok Sabha election as compared to 2014 Lok Sabha election. Next. Now, coming to the way forward, what we will be doing in the coming months. The state's duties at sub-national level have the prime responsibility of implementing the SDGs at lower administrative level. So their data requirement is different, their priorities are different, so they are developing their own state indicator framework in sync with national indicator framework. And Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation is providing all sort of technical assistance to states in this endeavor. Ministry also does capacity building on SDGs for state officers at all levels by organizing various workshops and training. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation will continue collaboration with the states in this regard. The second one, we can see that the effort has been sincerely made to bridge the data gaps on SDGs. In this direction, we are aligning our surveys or conducting new surveys as per SDG data requirements. We have recently, from January 2020, we have launched multiple indicator survey wherein data for number of SDG indicators are being collected from one survey itself. And this survey will be repeated after every 3 years. We'll continue our collaboration and partnership with UN agencies and research institutions for bridging methodology and data gaps, especially with respect to global indicators. To fill the data gaps in SDGs, we are exploring the possibility of use of alternative unconventional data sources such as big data, artificial intelligence, remote sensing, and some others. You will agree that data integration is the need of the hour, mainly to bridge the SDG data gaps, and we are sincerely working on it, such as integration of data from survey and administrative record, then integration of geospatial and statistical information, and so on. And you will get detail on data integration in one of the coming presentations, so I'm not going to discuss it further. Also, we will continue and review and refine our national indicator framework as per advancements in our statistical system and use of new technologies, and also because of new data sources, evolving of new data sources. So, next. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation will continue the community engagement for localization of SDGs and also for achieving it in a given time frame. Finally, the corporate sector, industry, and academia world are the important drivers in achieving SDGs. MOSPI recognizes their active participation in achievement of 2030 agenda and thus continue the hand-holding with them in these indicators. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ojha, for giving a detailed progress on these two indicators insofar as NSO MOSPI is concerned. India is presently in a state of transition. In health sector, India has made enormous strides over the past decades. At present, the whole world, including ourselves, have been struggling with the pandemics. During these testing times, how do we address the concerns and keep ourselves focused to attain our goals as pronounced in SDG 3? We are fortunate to hear Dr. Preeti Soodhan, Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, speak on India's perspective in achieving SDG 3 and efforts to contain COVID-19. Dr. Soodhan, a member of prestigious Indian Administrative Service, is a key strategist in time of COVID-19 pandemics and has been relentlessly working for containing the pandemic as early as possible. Dr. Preeti Soodhan present her recorded thoughts on this topic.
This is our country's symbolic celebration of the birth anniversary of the eminent statistician, late Professor Prashanta Chandra Mahalanobis. The theme for this year's Statistics Day covers Sustainable Development Goals with particular reference to SDG 3, which is to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being of all ages, and SDG 5, which is regarding gender equality. I am tasked to speak about the goal 3, SDG 3, with reference to COVID. But I'd like to say that when we talk about ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being of all ages, then women and girls find particular mention in that. So the goal SDG 5 actually is all pervasive, covers the importance of statistics data cannot be undermined, and more so the recent difficult days of COVID have showed us how important this is. Let me first talk about our SDG 3, which is about ensuring health for all. Again, I'd link it with this COVID times. It is brought back to us with much force that health for all is something that actually is central to our entire existence, our economies, our businesses, our travel, and this is the core of not only our well-being, but our country and the world's sustenance. So therefore, when we talk about Sustainable Development Goal 3, I'd like to emphasize that this is the foundation on which actually the entire living of the existence of human being rests on. And when you talk about health, as we have again understood, and COVID has again brought out that the social determinants of health, the interdependencies of various, I would say, the social parameters, the various ministries, the various departments, it's all about convergence. You cannot achieve good health without good immunity. You cannot achieve good immunity without well-being and exercise, without eating right, without being fit. You cannot be so again without maintaining a clean and healthy environment. You again cannot maintain clean and healthy environment until you are socially responsible. And to be socially responsible, especially in COVID times, you have to ensure that you wear a mask. Of course, I'm not wearing mask today because I'm speaking to you from my room. And then you have to ensure that, the COVID appropriate behavior, which means washing hands frequently, which means also maintaining 2 gaz ki duri, and as I've already said, wearing mask. So everything is interlinked. Therefore, what gets measured gets managed is a very famous quote of Peter Drucker from his 1954 book on management. And for SDG 3 also, very specific targets have been assigned. They are 13 in number, with 44 well-assigned indicators. In the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, we have a dashboard through which we not only monitor, but also we bring up the data on what is the performance of the states, because you must understand that state is a health subject, and center and state have to work in partnership towards common goals that can make our lives healthier, can make our lives better. And also that the data and the statistics for health, actually sources are many, and basically it starts from the very, I would say very individual who maintains his own health data, and now with our National Digital Health Blueprint, our vision for management of health with information technology by I would say redefining our very processes and using information technology in a manner that it improves lives of people. Through that initiative, as I was saying, that actually the data collection starts right from the individual who maintains his own health data, and then the health statistics which we get through surveys, which we get through our very, very important periodical National Family Health Survey. It's one of the biggest surveys with 6 lakh households being interviewed on very minute parameters. Then you have the NSSO surveys, the SRS surveys. So there are a lot of ways by which we collate and by which we gather data. But the most important thing I would say is, what do we do with the data? What do we do with all this information that we receive? And before we say what we do with this data, I think it's very important that why do we need this data? So it's not just for analysis, it is for bettering the lives of people from whom we collect this data. I think that's central to all data collection. And I'll come to it later, because along with this, I would say the why of data collection, the what of data collection is actually the ethics of data collection, the ethics of using this data. And that I think underlines the very essence of what we have to do with this kind of statistics, with this kind of data. I'd like to shift my focus to the current pandemic, COVID, which is also I've been tasked to speak on. And one thing I want to say about this pandemic, which is very difficult times that we are all passing through, and especially the amount of work that we are handling in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It has enhanced our vocabulary in many ways, and not only us who are handling this COVID, but I think people in general. Now, all of them know a lot about data and statistics. What is R-naught? What it means? What is using real-time data? What are statistical projections? What are estimates for data? What are the current cases? What are the future cases? What is statistical analysis? How do you predict the effectiveness of non-pharmaceutical interventions, reproductive rates, infections, fertility rate, doubling rate, flattening the curve, the growth curve. So it has been really a very steep learning curve, I would say. And our ministry has actually put in place a very robust data collecting system, data analysis system. And I'm aware and I know and we have gained from the kind of analysis that MOSPI has been doing for us. And thank you for that. So some of the analytical tools that we developed under COVID, I'd like to mention the outbreak trend data analysis, the peak loader calculator. This is a forecasting tool actually which we have given to our states that depending upon their doubling rate, depending upon their growth rate, depending upon the availability of beds, you know, they can predict that how much more they need to ramp up their preparedness in terms of testing, in terms of, again, the bed availability, in terms of stepping up surveillance, tracking. So therefore, all these tools, which are actually various forms of statistics, which are various forms of statistical tools, they have actually helped us. And of course, the facility and clinical management system that we have put in place is again something that I'd like to mention. Again, this is a system by which we are able to, have a bird's eye view of how the states and how our facilities are being managed. So again, along with this statistics and data, I'd like to say that very important is visualization of this data. We have found that, you know, visualization in various forms, graphics, maps, and bar charts, they help us to understand and they help us to communicate and I would also mention that they also help the states to actually sit up and take action, because these visualization that we are able to make with data analysis actually helps to grasp the nitty-gritty of the issue better. So, and of course, again, I would like to say that with technology, the use of data has been made more easy, and our Arogya Setu app is a very classical example where I would say data of millions is stored, is predicted, is actually collated. So that's one example of how technology and data and statistics have converged to make lives better and healthier. So with this, I'd like to again congratulate MOSPI on this very important day, and also thank our statisticians who are actually fighting the COVID war with us. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Sudan, for the wonderful address. We also do realize the importance of having the correct statistics for planning any strategy. Quoting Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, statistics must have a clearly defined purpose, one aspect of which is scientific advancement, and the other human welfare and national development. In his lifetime, Professor Mahalanobis was always on the lookout for talented researchers who shared this thought. Harish Chandra Sinha, Raj Chandra Bose, Samarendranath Roy, Keshavan Raghavan Nair, and Radhakrishna Rao are just some of the names often quoted as being his comrades in arms. And these people went on to earn international fame for themselves and the Institute for their outstanding contribution to statistics. In our similar endeavor to promote excellence and recognize outstanding contributions made by official statisticians in the area of official and administrative statistics in India, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has instituted this year Professor P.C. Mahalanobis National Award in Official Statistics. This annual award will be given in 3 categories. Category A, which is for in-service official statisticians of less than 45 years of age. Category B for in-service official statisticians above 45 years. and Category C for non-serving retired official statisticians for lifetime achievement. The award will be presented during Statistics Day on 29 June every year and carries a cash prize of rupees 2 lakh for each category, along with a citation, shawl, and a memento. The first Professor P.C. Mahalanobis National Award in Official Statistics for Lifetime Achievement is being awarded to Dr. Chakravarti Rangarajan, former Governor of Reserve Bank of India and Chairman of the National Statistical Commission. Awards for the other two categories are not being given for the year 2020. Dr. C. Rangarajan, a former Member of Parliament, former Governor of Andhra Pradesh and the 19th Governor of Reserve Bank of India, is presently the Chairman of the Madras School of Economics. He has also been the President of the Indian Statistical Institute, the founding Chairman of the C.R. Rao Advanced Institute of Mathematics, Statistics and Computer Science, and the Chancellor of the University of Hyderabad. In 2002, the Government of India awarded him Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian award. This occasion would have been very special if we could have had the privilege of Dr. C. Rangarajan's presence on this occasion. However, under the given circumstances, may I request Dr. Vivek Debroy to symbolically present the memento to Dr. C. Rangarajan. May I request Manvi to carry the memento to Dr. Debroy, please? Can we have a round of applause for Dr. Rangarajan? Later on, our DDG in the Field Operations Division of Chennai will be felicitating Dr. Rangarajan by presenting the memento, the shawl and citation. Dr. Rangarajan has been very gracious in sharing his views on the whats and hows of the statistics and statistical systems through this message that he sent for this occasion. Can we have the message from Dr. Rangarajan, please?
You and me today. Bearing the name of one of India's outstanding statisticians, Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, the value of the award is immense. The statistics may be relatively a new discipline, but its application is ubiquitous. There is no branch of physical and social science today which can do without the application of statistical tools. Theory can at best establish the nature and sign of the relationship among the variables. But without a numerical magnitude of this relationship, theory is of limited use in practice. Very often, the terms data and statistics are interchangeably used, but this is incorrect. As an eminent statistician once put it, there can be no statistics without data, and no statistics with the data alone. Statistical inference is an important part of the discipline. My association with the collection and dissemination of data started with my joining the Reserve Bank of India. The Reserve Bank of India is primarily responsible for the collection of financial data. Over the years, the techniques have been perfected, have been improved in order to present the financial data as quickly as possible and as well as possible. I was also very keen when I was at the Reserve Bank that the access to the data was made easy to everyone, and particularly to researchers. So the Statistical Commission that was set up in 2000 in order to review the statistical system of India. The aim of the commission was to produce data which satisfied three criteria, namely credibility, timeliness, and adequacy. Credibility depends upon the methodology adopted. Timeliness depends upon the organizational structure and the quality of the people who main manned statistical organizations. Adequacy means or implies that as a society expands and as the economy expands, more variables, data on more variables are made available. The celebration of the Statistics Day must remind us of the need to keep the statistical system efficient and satisfy the needs of the people. I do hope that one of the recommendations of the National Statistical Commission was to set up every year, the National Statistical Commission for the country as a whole, which will monitor the statistical system. The statutory recognition should come to it as early as possible. I also hope that there is a satisfactory end to the controversies that have recently risen on data. Statistics as a discipline is on the threshold of an important change. The arrival of big data compels the such institutions to rethink their models. Once again, I am grateful to you for the honor you have done me today, and I accept the award in all humility.
Thank you, sir. Now we have SDG monitoring by NSO India has been wonderfully supported by UN Resident Coordinator in India. Be it collaborating with various custodian agencies for developing the national indicators as appropriate for the different SDG targets, or developing a dashboard to help monitor the progress. The UN Resident Coordinator, Ms. Renata Locke-Deselian, has helped us with each and every activity. Ms. Renata Locke-Deselian has served the United Nations for 30 years in Africa and Asia in several capacities, including that of a UN Resident Coordinator, a Humanitarian Coordinator, and UNDP Resident Representative. She has also made some important contribution in the field of poverty reduction during the course of her work in developing countries. We present Ms. Renata Locke-Deselian share her views on what she feels are the challenges in the implementation of SDG during the COVID-19. Here we go.
Good morning to you all. I hope you and your loved ones are well during these very difficult times. Let me start by congratulating you all on National Statistics Day 2020. Last year on this day, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation and the United Nations in India launched the SDG dashboard to bring data into a single location to promote data-driven decision-making. This was a timely accomplishment under any circumstance, but 12 months later, the importance of data-driven decision-making is even more pronounced, and the SDG dashboard even more relevant. As you know, the global community has entered unknown and uncertain territory. Economies, communities, and the natural environment are under extreme duress due to the pandemic. Policymakers need facts and data to navigate these uncharted times and to make informed decisions. Sound evidence has become even more important to protect lives and to safeguard our future. The COVID-19 pandemic is unprecedented in our lifetime, both in scale and complexity. National statistics offices are more important than ever before. They will, of course, need to continue producing routine data on which we all depend: GDP, employment, prices, inflation, births and deaths, etc. But the pressure is on to also provide new information rapidly, almost real time, so that policymakers can address the pandemic. What began as a health crisis has rapidly become the biggest human and economic crisis of our generation. The pandemic has not only overwhelmed health systems globally, but also ground economies to a near halt and severely impact livelihoods. Students are out of school. Value chains are disrupted. Millions of people are at risk of hunger and poverty. And amidst all this, the poorest and the most vulnerable, including women, children, elderly, persons with disabilities,
migrants and informal sector workers are, as usual, at greatest risk. COVID-19 has revealed the fault lines of poverty, inequality, and climate change in country after country. And it was precisely due to inadequate progress in these areas that the SDGs were created in the first place. Now, the pandemic is revealing these fragilities openly, and the Sustainable Development Goals have become more relevant than ever before. The Government of India, including NITI Aayog, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and the state governments, have taken many early measures to prioritize the SDGs and to localize them. Next month, the Government of India will present its second voluntary national report to the United Nations, highlighting progress made, and it's really very impressive. We see how schemes such as the Ayushman Bharat for healthcare, Jan Dhan Yojana for financial inclusion, PM Kisan for farmers, and Manrega for rural employment have provided valuable relief for vulnerable populations, underscoring once again the importance of social protection for vulnerable groups and those in the informal sector particularly. Because of these pre-existing programs, the government is far better equipped to respond to the COVID crisis. Importantly, the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the critical importance of the public sector in health. The COVID-19 pandemic is a unique opportunity to fully realize the commitment made in India's National Health Policy 2017 to progressively achieve universal health coverage. Strengthening the public health care system, including primary health care, also has positive ripple effects in the areas of nutrition, water and sanitation, hygiene, not to mention educational outcomes. So based on the data and the evidence, and as India navigates through the pandemic, I sincerely hope the government will be able to increase its budgetary allocation for public health and invest more in public health care, not only for now, but also for the future. The pandemic has shown us the role that technology and data science is playing in addressing data needs. New technologies are being deployed to collect, disseminate, and use data to support the fight against COVID-19. And at the same time that the government innovates with technology in response to the pandemic, as well as in many other spheres of work, data privacy regulation concerns will need to be addressed through robust debates and safeguards. I'm happy to share with you an example of an excellent collaboration between WHO and the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare involving technology. WHO supported the ministry in rolling out the Integrated Health Information Platform, the IHIP. It's a web-based, enabled, near real-time information platform to monitor public health in India. The IHIP is an important part of India's National Digital Health Plan and provides policymakers in the government with a single operating picture of the public health situation in India, integrating health and health-related data from various national programs and entities. The importance of intelligent data gathering and analysis cannot be overstated. Since its launch in 2018, IHIP has gathered over 6 million case-based data of persons, and it's expected that the total number of records will exceed 1 billion within 2 years. This platform is currently providing the government with an important tool to address the challenges of COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt that the COVID-19 crisis has brought extraordinary, previously unimaginable challenges to the achievement of the SDGs. But history's taught us that every crisis also presents exceptional opportunities. We should use these opportunities for bold, innovative, urgent, scalable action to prevent the worst impacts of the pandemic, starting with the most vulnerable and the poorest. And we should pull out all the stops for SDG acceleration overall. This is our best protection against all sorts of crises, including pandemics. This is our safeguarding of the future. And this would be a fitting response as we enter the SDG decade of action. I wish everyone the very best during these most challenging times. I reiterate the full commitment of the United Nations in India to your efforts to ensure the well-being of all so no one is left behind. Thank you so much for inviting me to this important occasion.
Thank you so much, Ms. Renata. We look forward to your continued support. And thank you for reminding us that the only way to get out of a tight box is to invent your way out, as said by Jeff Bezos. UN Women has been standing behind women's equal participation in all aspects of life, social, political, and economic. It endeavors to help governments across the world and strengthen the systems that can help achieve gender equality. Joining us from UN Women is Dr. Anita Bhatia, Assistant Secretary General for Resource Management, Sustainability and Partnerships, and Deputy Executive Director of the UN Women. Ms. Bhatia has had a distinguished career at the World Bank Group and the International Finance Corporation, where she served as the Director of Global Partnerships. She has worked across the globe in Africa, Europe, Central Asia, Latin America, South and East Asia, and her key areas of work, besides gender equality, are also financial inclusion, support to women-owned businesses, and other priorities critical for the achievement of SDGs, and in particular SDG 5. May I request the message from Dr. Anita Bhatia, who is sharing her snippets of her rich experience to throw light on the need of quality statistics to address the challenges of gender equality.
On the occasion of Statistics Day, UN Women congratulates India's National Statistics Office for the hard work it has undertaken for decades to generate quality data that has allowed the Government of India to consistently measure progress across a range of issues, including gender equality. I'm particularly happy to participate in this year's celebration because the focus is on SDG 5 and SDG 3, and focusing on the Sustainable Development Goals cannot be done without a focus on gender. Achieving gender equality and a healthy population that is capable of enjoying human rights fully is dependent on having good data on human conditions. As this year's Statistics Day takes place under extraordinary circumstances, the focus on health and gender equality is particularly germane because those issues have been deeply compromised by the pandemic. We know from looking at the SDG Global Database that India has quality data for 64% of all indicator series under SDG 5. Congratulations. This is much more than many other countries, and we hope that others will follow. Through this quality data, we can see that 22% of women of reproductive age were victims of violence at the hands of intimate partners. We know that 27% of women are victims of child marriage. These areas require immediate attention of policymakers. But without the data that shows the seriousness of the problem, attention would not be paid to these issues. We know it is important for all SDGs that there be gender statistics, not just for SDG 5, but for all SDGs covering economic, political, social, and environmental issues. Some of these issues are relatively new, and as a pioneering institution, I am confident that the National Statistics Office will rise to the challenge and will produce quality data that will inform decision makers and policy making across a range of issues. Quality and timely data has actually become even more essential today. It is an important and critical tool for governments trying to mount an adequate response to the health crisis and the economic crisis. The Statistical Office has a critical role to play by ensuring the availability of gender disaggregated data. Through our Women Count Global Gender Data Program, UN Women's Office in India and our regional office in Bangkok stand ready to partner with you, not just to produce good quality gender data, but to ensure that in fact gender statistics are at the heart of all efforts to achieve gender equality. Without statistics and without statisticians, our world would be blind. So thank you for opening our eyes, and happy Statistics Day to all.
Thank you for showing this commitment to NSO on this account. Now we move ahead for declaring the winners of Professor P.V. Sukhatme Award. However, before we do so, I wish to quote from one of the magnum opus of classical Indian literature, which provides for tat karma yanna bandhaya sa vidya ya vimuktaye. Knowledge is the one that liberates. We at the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation are extremely conscious of recognition and celebration of the intellectual scholarships in the field of statistics. I introduce you all to our efforts in recognizing the contributions of luminaries and declare the winners of Professor P.V. Sukhatme National Award in Statistics for Lifetime Contributions in the Field of Statistics 2020. The award carries a cash prize of 5 lakh along with a citation, shawl and a memento. With utmost humility, we announce the recipients of Professor P.V. Sukhatme National Award in Statistics for Lifetime Contribution in the Field of Statistics during 2020, Dr. Arvind Pandey, Chair, Medical Statistics, Indian Council of Medical Research, and Dr. Akhilesh Chandrakul Shrestha, former Additional Director General, MOSPI, are the joint recipients of the award. A big round of applause for both of them. Dr. Arvind Pandey, a doctorate in statistics from BHU, Rockefeller Foundation postdoctoral awardee, author of more than 2,000 research papers, editor of many books and research monographs, contributed immensely in monitoring and evaluation of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare Program, Government of India. With the sample registration system of the country, particularly on cause of death statistics, district level household survey, annual health survey, national integrated biological and behavioral surveillance surveys, and HIV sentinel surveillance of HIV/AIDS program in India. He, as chair, has been guiding the national working group of the National AIDS Control Organization to provide official estimates of HIV burden in India and states since 2003 and continues to be the member of the Technical Resource Group TRG. May I request Shri A.K. Sadhu, DG NSO, to present this memento virtually. To begin with, to Dr. Arvind Pandey, Shri A.K. Sadhu, DG NSO. Secretary, I will request Secretary also to join hands, and this memento will be handed over to him in person. Let us hear him on receiving this award through a message. Dr. Arvind Pandey.
Respected dignitaries, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I wish Statistics Day is a great day in the system strengthening. I wish we all could have been present physically to commemorate the National Statistics Day, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are having this virtual meeting. I would like to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to the expert committee at the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation for considering me for this prestigious Professor P.V. Sukhatme Award 2020. I would also like to thank Indian Council of Medical Research, National AIDS Control Organization, and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare for giving me opportunity to participate and work with a number of technical groups on population and health. With pleasure, I note that the theme of the present Statistics Day is to deliberate on SDG 3 and SDG 5, which are related to ensure healthy lives and well-being of the people on the one hand, and the gender equality and empowerment of women and girls on the other. On this momentous occasion, I would like to reiterate that statistics plays an important role in fulfilling the data gaps, improving data quality, and bringing new data to see the progress. For this, we first set targets and then monitor the performance with the help of indicators. In this respect, we find that majority of the indicators come from the India's National Family Health Survey, with which I have been associated right from the beginning. There are some indicators such as vital statistics and causes of death data are from sample registration system at the office of the Registrar General of India, while morbidity data are from either NSSO or special surveys. Data on malaria, dengue, malaria, leprosy, HIV/AIDS, etc. come from the program data or service statistics. Even in case of SDG 5, good number of indicators that monitor the progress of the status of women are from National Family Health Survey. Of course, a few are from National Sample Survey, Ministry of Women and Child Development, and National Crime Records. It may be mentioned that with the due knowledge of sampling error, we use survey data to provide interval estimates of the indicators. However, we need to make efforts and take up studies to develop methodology to calibrate the service statistics with the help of the parameters on which reliable data are available in the same way as HIV sentinel surveillance data has been calibrated with the data from National Family Health Survey while carrying out the ongoing HIV burden estimation in the country. With these few words, I would like to thank you again for this opportunity. Jai Hind.
Many congratulations, Dr. Arvind Pandey sir. Our next awardee, the joint awardee, Dr. Akhilesh Chandra Kulshrestha, a doctorate in statistics, had been a member of Indian Statistical Service fraternity. Dr. Kulshrestha served the statistical system in various capacities for 32 long years. Dr. Kulshrestha's major contribution in the field of national accounts, covering statistics of agriculture sector, informal sector, and environmental sector. His notable contributions in national accounts statistics include initiatives on construction of input-output transactions tables of the Indian economy, implementation of 1993 systems of national accounts, household sector production and generation of income account, sequence of accounts, economic accounts of general government, economic accounts of public non-financial corporations, and many more. I would congratulate him and will request Dr. Shailja Sharma and also to the CSI both to kindly virtually present this award, this memento to Dr. Akhilesh Chandra Kulshrestha. A big round of applause. Thank you, ma'am and sir. It will be an honor to hear Dr. Akhilesh Chandra Kulshrestha.
Honorable Minister, Vice Chairman Niti Aayog Dr. Rajiv Kumar, Chief Statistician of India Mr. Praveen Srivastava, Dr. Dev Roy, dignitaries and fellow statisticians. My greetings to each one of you. As we know, Statistics Day is celebrated to mark birth anniversary of late Professor P.C. Mahalanobis in recognition of his valuable contribution in the field of economic planning and statistics. I would like to sincerely thank the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation for honoring me at this time by extending the Professor P.V. Sukhatme National Award 2020 for lifetime contributions and achievements in the field of statistics. Incidentally, I have had the opportunity to see Professor Sukhatme in person and listen to his interesting addresses on agricultural statistics 55 years ago while I was a research fellow at ISI ICAR, and that inspired me a lot at that time. In early days of my career, I published research papers in the field of design of experiments covering important topics such as construction of balanced and partially balanced incomplete block designs, circular designs, incomplete block designs for bioassets, etc. As ISS officer since 1972, I had the privilege of working for official statistics. I could publish research papers in the field of official statistics and national accounts covering statistics of agricultural sector, informal sector and environmental sector. On informal sector statistics, I may mention my papers on informal sector in India, conceptual and estimation issues in the context of UN-SNA, GDP and employment in the informal sector of Indian economy, multiple employment and its implications for estimation of GDP and measuring unorganized sector of the Indian economy, published in the Journal of International Association of Income and Wealth. On national accounts statistics, I may make a mention of some of my research papers on construction of input-output transaction tables of the Indian economy, advanced estimates of gross domestic product, quarterly estimates of GDP, implementation of 1993 system of national accounts, household sector production and generation of income account, sequence of accounts, economic accounts of general government, workforce in Indian national accounts, agriculture in the national accounts, gaps in the information system, gross domestic product by gender, estimates of saving in 2008 SNA and statistical discrepancies, measurement of financial services in 2008 SNA, implementation issues, input-output transactions table at regional level, and of late on gross domestic knowledge product in the framework of SNA. As member of the advisory expert group to the Inter-Secretariat Working Group on National Accounts, comprising Eurostat, IMF, OECD, UN, and World Bank, who updated the 1993 SNA to 2008 SNA, I had contributed an agenda paper on treatment of informal sector financial activities in SNA, which was adopted in the system to take care of the situation requirement of developing countries. Also, I would like to say a few things about the system of national accounts and the Indian national accounts, the way these have progressed and the challenges ahead. At the international level, SNA has been revised from 1953 SNA to 68 SNA to 1993 SNA, and the latest being 2008 SNA. SNA recommendations have been implemented in the Indian national accounts to the extent feasible. Since 2008 SNA requires reconciliation of statistical discrepancies, errors and omissions in the supply and use table framework among the various statistics on supply that includes industry-wise production and use that includes categories of final expenditures to get the reconciled the balanced GDP. Thus, we need to make improvements in all the relevant statistics on supply and use. Besides, a lot has to be done on subnational and regional accounts. Once again, I am grateful to the Ministry for recognizing my contributions to improve the national statistical system and honoring me with this prestigious award. Thank you.
Hearty congratulations to Dr. Pandey and Dr. Kulshrestha for winning the PV Sukhatme Award. Though cliché and often repeated, we are living through unprecedented times. The impact of COVID-19 has changed everything across the globe. At this time of crisis, governments more than ever rely on timely, reliable data to make decisions that can mitigate harm and protect their citizens. What's more, given the grave impacts of the pandemic on our interconnected world, decisions made today will have the consequences that will last far into the future, affecting people in every region and every community. As with all activities, data collection by national statistical offices have also been disrupted by the quarantine measures undertaken in the context of COVID-19 pandemic. The impact was particularly felt in those activities that rely on face-to-face interviews such as household surveys and censuses. The abruptness of the quarantine measures meant that changes to data collection efforts had to be done quickly and that new approaches and data sources had to be tried immediately. To get an outside view of the problem, we have invited Dr. Enrique Ordaz, Vice President of the Governing Board at the National Institute of Statistics and Geography, or INEGI, at Mexico, to participate in our discussions today. Dr. Enrique Ordaz has been with the INEGI since 1986, working in various positions and subjects, and has also been the co-chair of the Interagency and Expert Group on SDGs. We now have the message from Dr. Enrique Ordaz, sharing with us the responses of INEGI Mexico to the impact of COVID-19, especially with reference to data collection and coordination, including those required for SDG monitoring and implementation. Dr. Ordaz's message, please.
Dear colleagues and friends, good day to everyone. I wish all of you are safe and in good health. Let me introduce myself. My name is Enrique Ordaz, and currently I am Vice President of the Governing Board of INEGI, the National Statistical Office in Mexico, and as well as the Geographic Authority. I want to thank Dr. Praveen Srivastava, Secretary and Chief Statistician of India, for his kind invitation to participate in the celebration of the Statistics Day in India and to share Mexico's experience on the SDGs in face of the COVID-19 pandemic. In Mexico, as in all parts of the world, we are going through very difficult times. The measures to save lives and to avoid the spread of the pandemic have put our economy in a very uncertain and risky situation. Investment is down, production is down, and in April, more than 12 million people left the labor market, many of them without receiving any income. In my view, given this situation, the 2030 Agenda has become a relevant guide of policy in action for governments, for the private sector, and also for the civil society. Hence, the role of national statistical offices is key in supporting our societies in overcoming the health and social crisis that we have before us. In my presentation, I want to give you a quick view of how we have embraced the Sustainable Development Agenda and how we are producing and coordinating the integration of data and statistics for the SDGs. I will also show you some examples of how we are performing in goals 5 and 3. So let me share with you my presentation. As I was saying, we have an emergency, and in Mexico, the Mexican government declared a health emergency on March 30th. So we went into confinement, all outdoors activities were put to a halt, and all face-to-face interviews were banned. For INEGI, it meant the temporal suspension of all the statistical and geographic field operations. In my view, the major impact has been on social and demographic statistics that I produce by means of visits to households, to house units, that is by household surveys. Let me begin with the Population and Housing Census 2020. The census was planned for the data collection to take place between March 1st and March 27th. So by the time the emergency was declared, we were barely able to finish almost all of our field work. There were some remaining household and small areas that we were able to finish by internet or by telephone interview. So we are confident that by the end of the year we will be able to present preliminary results. In the case of the Occupation and Employment Survey, which has a 120,000 households sample size, we were not able to continue. We were not so lucky, and we had to change to a telephonic employment survey with a smaller sample of 14,000 households. The same is true for the Consumer Confidence Survey, which we changed to a telephone interview with a sample size of 1,100 households. The impact on the SDGs is very difficult to say right now. Most of our indicators are annual, some are quinquennial, and so at this time it's not possible to say what the impact will be. For now, we have collected the indicators that we are presenting, and we have no lags as of now. Let me also say that in the case of economic statistics, since we have been collecting the data through the internet and via telephone and even email for the last 9 to 10 years, our response rates have been kept at similar levels, and up to this point, with the uncertainty of the future, we are still able to produce the data for all the economy. So let me turn now to the development agenda. So I will begin with a few words about the National Institute of Statistics and Geography. Some key elements. We are an institution that brings together the production of geographic and statistical data within the same institution. We have a constitutional autonomy since 2008, and we are coordinating the national system of statistical and geographic information, as you can see on the screen. National system has 4 main thematic areas. One is demographic and social statistics. The other is economic statistics. Then we have government, public security, and justice statistics. And finally, we have geographical information, environmental statistics, and territorial and urban planning. So our committee on SDGs is under the topic of demographic and social statistics. And the institutional setting for the 2030 agenda is as follows. On the left-hand side, you can see that there is a National Council for the 2030 agenda. That council was established by the Mexican government a few years ago. It's presided by the Mexican president with its cabinet members. And on the right-hand side, we have the National Statistical System. So we established a technical committee on SDGs, which brings together the National Council that deals mainly with public policy, and the system, the statistical system that brings geographic and geospatial and statistical information. The committee is chaired by the Office of the President, and the technical secretariat is INEGI. This committee brings to the table 24 ministries and agencies dealing with issues related to environment, finance, labor, energy, women, children, and so on. We believe very much that our 2 main challenges are first, the production of statistical data under 4 main principles, which are independence, timeliness, objectivity, and accuracy. And secondly, the provision of a massive number of adequate and timely indicators to support the process of policy making. So from the decisions taken by the technical committee on SDGs, we decided that from the global indicator framework, we would take 169 indicators, out of which we have at this time 61. For Mexico, we designed 54 specific indicators. I would have to say that some of those indicators come from the Millennium Declaration 2000. And so we have at this time 115 indicators on the website. We bring all of the data with the country data hub that collects the data from different ministries which are participating in our system of national statistics and geographic information. So I will show you now some of the indicators for goals 3 and 5. This is the home page of our Sustainable Development Goals. And going directly to goal 3, good health and well-being, I will show you the indicator 3.2.5, which is a mortality rate in children under 5 years of age due to diarrhea diseases. And as you can see, we have many challenges going on in the south of the country. You can see the dark green, where we have the highest mortality rate, and also in the center north. So there is still work to go. As you can see in the small graph on the right-hand side, the trend is going down, but still not far enough as we would like it to be. Now let me turn to indicator 3.2.6. This is a global indicator, and it's the mortality rate in children under 5 years of age from acute respiratory diseases. And I wanted to show you this because, as you know, COVID-19 has been related to respiratory diseases. In the case of the previous indicator, we can see also that the darkest green is in the south, mainly on the Pacific coast. So still work to be done here. And finally, I want to show you the malaria incidence rate. We have, in this case, a more successful situation. We still have very few cases in the south east, which has a very tropical climate, and on the central north, mainly from migration. But I would say that, as you can see on the graph, it's very, very, very low, but still we have to keep on track with this malaria. Now let me turn to goal 5, which is gender equality. The first indicator I want to show you is 5.5.2, the proportion of women in managerial positions. As you can see, from 2010 to 2019, last year, we have been improving. Still, we have much way to go. The lowest point is around 29%, just below 30%. But right now, we are around 35%, which is still not enough for what we should be doing. Now I show you C5.6.3, which is the prevalence of contraceptive use in women in childbearing age. This is a national indicator, and this is no surprise that the lowest use of contraceptive methods is in the south. You can see the light pink states along the Pacific coast, whereas in the northwest and the north in general, which is a more developed area, the use of contraceptive methods is more generalized. And this has to do with the increasing population in the southeast that is less developed and has more problems, social and economic problems. You can see here the trend for this indicator since 1992. So we began with around 63% using contraceptive methods, and we are in 72, somehow stagnated, but in a way it has improved in the last 20 years. And finally, I want to show you this 5.2.1, in part because with the confinement, there are notes in the news in Mexico that there is an increase in domestic violence. So here I am showing the proportion of women 50 years of age subjected to physical, sexual, or psychological violence by a partner. And well, this is of course very concerning for us. And this does not happen in a particular area, but it goes all across the country. So in this graph, I want to show you that there are different forms of looking at the data. Either by maps, we have the tables that with all of the data on which you can build the indicators. We have the metadata with data sources, explanations of each one of the indicators, and graphs that you can produce for each one of them. So I would like to have some final remarks. One is that a strategic vision is needed for the implementation of the 2030 Agenda, taking into account that this is a long-term commitment. The country's strategy should reflect the priority of policies, and this has to do with the political agenda of the government. On the statistical side, I would say that the 2030 Agenda allows for the consolidation of the national statistical systems, and I hope this is the case for all countries around the world. And the 2030 Agenda should foster statistical capabilities in the entire statistical system. With this, I would like to finish and to thank again the authorities in India for inviting me to share with you this presentation, and I want to wish you a very successful celebration on this Statistics Day. Thank you very much and have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for that message, Dr. Das. Sustainability is about collaborations. It's about working beyond silos and beyond boundaries. With the digital revolution providing immense opportunities for evolving the right tools for measuring the progress towards the attainment of the SDGs, the importance of looking into the possibility of data integration in bridging data gaps cannot be overemphasized. The Statistics Division of the UNSCAP has been advocating a collective vision and a framework for action for advancing official statistics for the 2030 Agenda, which specifically calls for integrated statistics and integrated analysis. Dr. Gemma Van Halderen, as the Director of the Statistics Division in UNSCAP, has been leading from the front in the transformation of statistical programs in the region and implementation of the modernized statistical capabilities, including data sharing, data integration, and microdata access. Dr. Gemma, who has earlier worked with the Australian Bureau of Statistics, has extensive global experience. She was the inaugural co-chair of the integration of geographical and statistical information and is an elected member of the International Statistics Institute and a member of the International Association of Official Statistics Executive Committee. She is also known as an advocate for young statisticians. We have the good fortune of hearing from Dr. Gemma Van Halderen about the concept of data integration and its use for bridging the data gaps in the context of SDGs.
Good morning. My name is Gemma Van Halderen. I'm the Director of the SCAP Statistics Division, and it's a real pleasure to be with you today on the National Statistics Day, hosted by the National Statistics Office of India. Dr. Kumar and colleagues, thank you very much for the invitation to be with you today to talk to you about the importance of data integration in bridging data gaps for SDG monitoring in the SCAP region. I'd like to start today with a very simple definition of data integration. Data integration takes data from different sources and combines them into a single view. It's a very simple concept, really. It's very powerful, and it maximises the use of existing data in your national statistical system and combines that data into a single view. Let me share with you some examples of data integration in Australia. Australia has taken people-centred data and combined information on healthcare, personal income tax data, education, government payments, and population demographics through a project called the Multi-Agency Data Integration Project, or MADIP. Australia has also taken business-centred data and combined business taxation data with information from ABS business surveys into a business longitudinal analysis data environment, or BLADE. More recently, Australia has been looking at combining people-centred data and business-centred data through a longitudinal linked employer and employee data set. This is a very powerful data set. It combines information about employers with information about employees. And also Australia are looking to combine data, people-centred data, business-centred data and environment data through a standard repeatable system that integrates data based on location. 4 very exciting examples here in Australia. New Zealand's also been undertaking data integration for quite some time. Their people-centred integrated data infrastructure combines information about life events like education, income, benefits, migration, justice and health. New Zealand's business-centred longitudinal business database binds business data on agriculture, business financials, business practices, employment, innovation and international trade and tourism. And both the people-centred and the business-centred databases are linked through taxation data. In Asia and the Pacific, we have a collective vision that by 2030 we will be empowered and enabled to deliver innovative, timely statistical products and services. Now, data integration is a very powerful tool to achieve this vision. In terms of innovative, timely statistical services, microdata access is really enabling greater access to our statistical resources for important policy-centred research purposes. Here are 3 examples from Australia. Drivers of gender wage gap, migrants, productivity, employment and wages in Australian firms, and a project called Healthy Mind, Healthy Body that's identifying opportunities to prevent the cascading physical and social impacts of poor mental health. So these are very policy relevant, very timely research undertaken using the integrated data sets. The other innovative, timely statistical products and services that we can provide through data integration are official statistics. Here are 3 examples from New Zealand, providing economic statistics, social statistics such as disability, Maori and child poverty, and demographic statistics. In the case of their 2018 population census, the New Zealand Statistics Office created a New Zealand census dataset using data integration in response to the lower participation rate than they were expecting. At these times of COVID-19, though, some other innovative, timely statistical products and services are possible through data integration. Here is an example from Australia that's integrated combined data from the Taxation Office on payroll jobs with geospatial information. Here it was location, to look at the impacts of COVID-19 on a weekly basis on jobs. This tool here, this innovative product, statistical product, is available on the ABS website, and you can look at change in the number of jobs over different time periods that you can choose. The topic of the theme of this year's National Statistics Day focuses on 2 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Goal 3, ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all at all ages, has a large number of SDG indicators, which I've shown here on this slide. But what I've done is I've grouped them by the unit of measurement. What is the topic of each of these indicators? 5 of the indicators relate to people, 9 of them to deaths, 2 of them to births, and 1 each for health services, treatment interventions, and tuberculosis, hepatitis, and malaria. So if you are looking to bridge the gaps bridge data gaps in SDG 3 through the power of data integration. Combining data sources relevant to people centre or to depth would be a good starting point. Take, for instance, deaths. We have indicators for neonatal mortality, maternal mortality, suicide mortality. So combining data sources for each of these types of mortality into a single data set could address 9 of the SDG indicators for SDG Goal 3. Here is another example from Australia, who have combined information from their National Health Survey on health conditions with geospatial information to deliver a timely, innovative service on at-risk populations for the total population, for persons aged 60 and over, and persons aged 70 and over. Again, this is very timely at these unfortunate COVID-19 crisis. The National Statistics Day of India is also looking at SDG Goal 5, achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. Again, I've just taken a look at the indicators to monitor progress with Goal 5. 7 of these indicators are people-centred, and 1 each for countries, seats in Parliament and legal frameworks. So combining the 7 indicators on people from SDG Goal 5 with the 5 indicators relating to people from SDG Goal 3, potentially an integrated data set, an integrated people-centred data set could address and bridge data gaps for 12 of the SDG indicators alone for these 2 goals. Some of the lessons you need to be wary of, though, in undertaking data integration. I've just listed 3 here. The first one is social licence. As National Statistics Office of India, you are trusted to collect, compile, analyse and disseminate official statistics. You need to also, though, build trust in securing access to other data sets, combining them, integrating them into a single source. This takes time and needs the trust of your citizens. Data integration also needs new infrastructure. In particular, I'm listing 2 here. The first one is microdata access. Data integration provides an excellent opportunity for you to build new infrastructure, such as a microdata data lab, to enable researcher access to your microdata, to be able to undertake some of the policy relevant research like we saw in Australia and New Zealand. The other infrastructure you need to consider is your legislation. Does your legislation enable you to acquire data sets, bring those data sets together into a single source? The third area is skills. Communication is perhaps the #1 skill you need in building the social license and the trust of your public in being able to undertake data integration. It's a very simple concept. It is very methodologically challenging, but you need to be able to communicate this very simply to your people. Secondly, you need new skills, methodological skills like record linkage and probabilistic data linking. In the case of business-centred data sets, like the longitudinal business data set in New Zealand, often there is a unique key or a unique identifier of businesses that can be used to undertake record linkage. But in the case of people-centred databases, often there is not a unique number system in your country, and you have to use techniques called probabilistic data linking, and this is a skill that needs acquiring. Ladies and gentlemen, to bring us back to the topic of today's National Statistics Day, bridging the data gaps for the SDGs in the SCAP region, I'd just like to leave you with these 4 thoughts. First of all, where are your data gaps? We've looked here today at SDG 3 and SDG 5. Where are your data gaps? And importantly, where is the unit of measurement for these data gaps? Is it businesses? Is it people? Once you've identified where are the gaps and what is the unit of measurement, An exercise is now to scan your environment, scan the national statistical system in India about where our data sets exist that could be used to combine using data integration techniques. In the case of Australia and New Zealand, they've combined education, health, justice, migrants, disability status. They've combined multiple data sets that exist across the national statistical system. Once you've identified the data sets, the next task is to acquire those data sets, combine them, and use them for statistical and research purposes. And it's that last step where the value of data integration comes together. But overall, my main message to you here today is data integration requires you to bring your citizens along with you. This is really important to make sure the public, India knows that you're acquiring data sets, combining them, and using them for public good, for statistical and research purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for this wonderful invitation to be with you today on the National Statistics Day. I wish Dr. Kumar, all of you there at the Indian National Statistical Office, a very happy 2020 National Statistics Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jema, for your expositions. We now move ahead for the announcement of prize winners on the Spot Essay Writing Competition 2020. We in the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation keep sustainability in the center stage of all its activities. We systematically undertake activities which aim at nourishing young talents and instilling in them statistically inclined analytical acumen. We believe in what is said in scriptures, Uttisht Jagrit Prapya Varanya Bodhat. Arise, awake, till you attain worthy knowledge. Since 2005, every year, the Ministry organizes an All India Essay Writing Competition on the subject relevant to statistics, official statistics for the postgraduate students of statistics studying in the recognized universities. This year, on the Spot Essay Writing Competition 2020 was held on 23rd January 2020. In this category, a total of 11 prizes are given away. 1 first prize, 2 second prize, 3 third prizes, and 5 consolation prizes. The joy of receiving those awards and certificate from the hands of honorable or the government ministries, officials in person would have been immense. But for pandemic, now it is not possible. However, I will request Shri Praveen Srivastava, CSI, to just exhibit the certificate which will be awarded, which will be given away to the students who have won this award. May I request just a notional kind of exhibition of certificate to the students which will be given away. A big round of applause to all the winners, and we now thank you, sir. Thank you for giving this elixir to all the winners. And I announce the name of the awardees. The first prize goes to Shubham Santosh Dhumal of Mumbai University. Big round of applause. Second prize goes to Apratim Shukla and Kumari Sushmita, both from Banaras Hindu University. And the third prize winners are Yamini Sinha from Lucknow University, Aishwarya T of PSG College of Arts and Sciences, Coimbatore, and Rekha Gupta of Lucknow University. The 5 consolation prizes are awarded to Nahid Shamim of Presidency University, Kolkata, Prachi Bharat Dalvi of Sunandan Dwaitya School of Science, Mumbai, Jaspreet Singh of Punjabi University, Patiala, Anchal Jain of Lucknow University, and Om Shukla of Lucknow University. Many congratulations to the winner. Keep it up.
Congratulations to the award winners of the essay competition. Moving on to the next speaker, the delivery of health infrastructure and services is an important step that India needs to work on for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Be it achieving universal health coverage or ensuring adequate facilities for development, training, and retention of health workforce, it is imperative for the public and private sector to collaborate for achieving the desired results. But with 1.3 billion people vying for attention and with COVID-19 making it impossible to keep up with the growing demands, the health infrastructure is the key for India to overcome this health crisis. At this juncture, let me introduce you to the next speaker, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, who is the Joint Managing Director of the Apollo Hospitals and the President of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, is known for her untiring efforts and resolute commitment to bringing transformative changes in healthcare, development of health IT, and championing manifold initiatives not only in India but also abroad. She had also been elected as a member of the Steering Committee on Health for the 12th Five-Year Plan. Her versatility is evident. She was a member of the World Economic Forum Digital Committee and has been nominated by the Government of India as a member of Technology Development Board, Department of Science and Technology. We have the privilege of Dr. Sangeeta Reddy sharing with us some of the COVID-19 impacts on the healthcare sector in India. She also shares some of the highlights that can be inferred from statistics on SDG 3 and SDG 5 and the importance of tracking India's progress on these goals. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy.
Namaste. It is a great pleasure for me to join all of you on the celebration of this very significant day, which is to mark the capability and the extreme contribution of Sri P.C. Mahalanobis as the India Statistics Day. I would especially like to thank Mr. Srivastava for inviting me for this program, and also look forward to hearing Mr. Bibek Debroy in his address. Like I said, he is articulate and extremely erudite in his knowledge. So thank you so much for this opportunity to share a few thoughts on this very significant day. We are really in the midst of an unprecedented pandemic, as has often been said. It is also VUCA times, volatile, uncertain. People say the C stands for complex and ambiguous, but today I think its C is complex as well as connected. So there's a new definition even to VUCA in the ambiguity. So while we're looking at this number, India has crossed over 500,000 people who have been infected. We have a death number which has crossed 15,685. And when we look at that number, the overall number of people in the country who have been infected makes us among the fourth in terms of ranking. But if you combine that with the death or the death rate per million, we have a death rate of 11 per million, whereas the world average is actually 64 per million. So India is handling this crisis at this point of time seemingly in a much better manner, considering the size of our population compared to any other country. And so the reason I'm restating these statistics is not just because it's topical, not just because this is corona surrounding us everywhere, but because these numbers and these statistics have very different implications based on how you're looking at them. And therefore, it is so crucial for us to gather the right numbers, to look at them in the right perspective, to have the appropriate comparisons and the entire set of reality when we are concluding based on numbers. Because in today's digital world, everything is about data. And while they say data is the new oil, I actually think that data is a significant light. It's a lighthouse which gives us a direction. It shows us how we're progressing, where we're going. And this measurement, as is often said, that which you do not measure, you cannot improve. And so as we measure our numbers, we are able to improve in so many things, or track if we haven't improved. I want to congratulate the Ministry of Statistics for focusing this World Statistics Day on SDG 5 and SDG 3, both which are very important. SDG 3 focuses on health and SDG 5 on gender and women. And both these areas have significant things for us to focus, to count, to look at the numbers and analyze ways in which we can improve ourselves. If you look at numbers and statistics on the healthcare side, India has a shortage in the number of beds per population, in the number of doctors, nurses and healthcare staff. And the COVID crisis has only shown us what these fault lines look like. Not only that, I think if you analyze, it's not just 5 lakh, over 5 lakh people who have contracted the virus. Another important statistics is over 80% of this 5 lakh number is contained into 17 cities. And therefore it shows us that while 60% of our population lives in our villages, it is the urban areas which have become the hotbed of this COVID crisis. So that's why the appropriate analytics of statistics is so crucial and critical in these times. So I want to take the last opportunity as we are focusing on the 2 significant SDGs, is that in the healthcare sector, we not only need to enhance the number of beds that we have, to use the power of telemedicine so that we can reach out to our population appropriately, but also we must double our number of doctors, grow by 3 times our number of nurses, and grow by 5 times our number of paramedics. So healthcare really offers a huge employment generation space, and it is important for the health and the well-being of both men and women that we focus on healthcare. Women make up 40% of the population, yet they make up only 26% of the formal workforce, and this number is down from 37% that they used to be in the year 2009. It's important for us to find a way to bring more women into the formal workforce or into entrepreneurship. It's also significant for us to note that women for a similar type of job receive approximately 20% less in terms of pay or compensation, and also that women compose of only 12% of the board of director seats. Women in senior leadership make up only 21%, and therefore across all spectrums of leadership there is a great need to improve the number of women. By tracking these statistics, by noting the changes which are happening, we will be able to continuously focus, monitor and make strategies to improve. I'm also happy on behalf of FICCI to announce a FICCI Flow initiative called Women, the Greater 50%. This greater 50% is not because their numbers are greater than 50%, but because their impact, the impact that women have is disproportionate to their numbers. They contribute directly to the economy, but also I think to something which is very important for our lives, which is the happiness factor, the softer aspects of life, because ultimately what do we live for? We live for peace, we live for fulfillment, we live to move ahead, but to move ahead not just economically, but also spiritually and in happiness. And therefore, I think when we start acknowledging that women make up the greater 50% in terms of impact, we will have a happier world and be much happier as a race. So let me once again give my very good wishes on the occasion of this India Statistics Day. Let me congratulate the association for all the great work that they're doing. And let me pledge on behalf of the healthcare sector that we appreciate the importance of data collection, the value of appropriate data in monitoring, in quality, in improvement, in the evolution of artificial intelligence and new age mechanisms which are going to transform the way we live, transform the way we work. We commit to sharing data, to using data appropriately, and always employing this data towards the betterment of humankind. All the very best. Thank you for this opportunity. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, for articulating the challenges, throwing light on various sectors of health and many more. Thank you so very much. When the Canadian geese travel in V formation, the lead bird's job is not simply to guide the other birds as to which direction to fly. Rather, the lead bird's primary role is to help reduce air drag so that the flock can fly for greater distance without expending more energy. It is this important role that is played by Shri Rao Inderjeet Singh, our Honorable Minister of State for Statistics and Program Implementation Independent Charge. On the occasion of the 14th Statistics Day, we have a message from our Honorable Minister. Here we play the message.
Dr. Rajiv Kumar, Vice Chairman, Niti Aayog. Dr. Vivek Debroy, Chairman, Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council and President, ISI. Professor Bimal Kumar Roy, Chairman, NSC. Shri Praveen Srivastava, Chief Statistician of India and Secretary MOSPI. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, Joint General Managing Director, Apollo Hospitals Enterprises Limited. Professor Sanghamitra Bandyopadhyay, Director, Indian Statistical Institute. Senior officers of the central and state governments, dignitaries of the national and international organizations who have joined us remotely, distinguished members from the academia, representatives of international organizations, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. My greetings to all on the occasion of the 14th Statistics Day today. The role of statistics in development of the nation is crucial. Underlining the importance of statistics in development of the nation, government has been celebrating the Statistics Day since 2007 to popularize the use of statistics in everyday life and to sensitize the public. The Statistics Day is celebrated on 29th of June to commemorate the birth anniversary of India's legendary statistician and policy planner, Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, in recognition of his invaluable contributions in establishing the national statistical system. Professor Mahalanobis, who brought the concept of planned governance to India, is fondly remembered as the father of the statistical system in the country. A pioneer in statistical thinking, research and governance, his contributions were immense towards the setting up the Indian Statistical Institute in Calcutta in 1931 as a dedicated institute for research and training in statistics. It was his vision that led to formulation of two-pillar official statistical institutions in the country, that is, the erstwhile Central Statistical Organization and the National Sample Survey Organization, which are the forerunners to the present-day National Statistical Office. Friends, the developments in theory and practice of statistical procedures have resulted in an efficient decision-making process globally. The National Statistical Office, the custodian of the official statistics and mentor of the statistical system of the country, have evolved to become an important national institution and has been recognized globally for its relevance and contributions. As you are all aware, the high-quality statistical data gathered, processed, and released through the national statistical system is in great demand by national and international agencies. India, with its strong economic fundamentals, is fast developing and is now renowned amongst front-runner countries of scientific research and emerging disciplines of data sciences under the able leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. India is sharing its resources and expertise in the field of statistics with the international community of organizations for mutual development. Being a responsible member country of the United Nations, India is also dedicated towards its global commitments. India is also part of the United Nations efforts to end hunger and achieving a better and more sustainable future for all. The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, set in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly stands for concrete action plan to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030 and no one should be left behind. Last year, on Statistics Day 2019, the Ministry released Sustainable Development Goals National Indicator Framework Baseline Report 2015-16. A progress report on SDG National Indicator Framework 2020 version 2.0 was subsequently released in March 2020. A SDG dashboard was also unveiled which provides access to government and non-government stakeholders, including public at large, on the progress of India towards attaining of various SDG goals and targets. In order to further strengthening and monitoring process, guidelines have also been issued on development of state indicator framework. These developments reinforce India's commitment in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. I am happy to note that every year a theme of current national importance is selected for Statistics Day celebrations. The theme for 2019 was Sustainable Development Goals, and taking this forward, the theme for Statistics Day 2020 covers SDG 3, which is ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages, and SDG 5, which is achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. The highest attainable standard of health is a fundamental right of every person. SDG 3 aims to ensure that everyone has access to the highest standards of health and health care. The COVID-19 global pandemic has shown that in spite of the significant strides made so far, more efforts are needed to fully eradicate a wide range of diseases and address many different persistent and emerging health issues. Goal 5 aims at achieving gender equality and empowering women. Gender equality is a necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. India's commitment to gender equality and the targets of Goal 5 is very much evident from the Prime Minister's Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao initiative, which aims to equal opportunity and education for girls in India, and other specific interventions of lead programs of Government of India for women empowerment. We firmly believe, and I am confident, that when government policies at all levels align their work for the betterment of the society, sustainable development is fully realizable by India. Yes, there are challenges. The present global scenario of COVID-19 pandemic poses challenges towards the progress of global economy. At the same time, it provides for opportunities to have more data-driven policies, to establish more accurate early warning and prediction systems to benefit the global community. Due to lockdowns and maintenance of social distancing norms to contain the pandemic, my ministry have begun to actively explore alternative and efficient options for data collection, adhering to international standards. By leveraging technology to bring out timely and quality statistics for policy interventions. Creation of a robust database for monitoring the progress of SDGs once again underlines the importance and need for holistic data for informed policy, discourse and decisions. Our ministry, in its endeavor to have an efficient and responsive statistical system for its integrated development, has made many significant achievements during the last 1 year and has announced its vision 2024 for real-time monitoring of the economy. In this direction, reforms in statistical processes and products are underway that will facilitate realizing this vision. During the year, the coverage of the publications on environmental accounts and environmental statistics was expanded to include new accounts and indicators, thereby significantly improving the richness and usefulness of the data sets. Under environmental accounts, 2 ecosystem services were reported upon: cropland ecosystem services and nature-based tourism for the first time. Under environmental statistics, 83 new indicators were reported upon, taking the total number of covered indicators under Framework for Development of Environment Statistics to 217. Recognizing the achievements made, India was invited for the first time to the meeting of the Bureau of UN Committee on Experts on Environmental Accounting, held during the 51st meeting of the UNSC, and has now become a member of the Bureau. I take this opportunity to convey that in order to revamp and strengthen the existing statistical system, this ministry has come up with a project called National Integrated Information Portal, which would imbibe a new information technology solutions in the field of data acquisition, processing and dissemination. This portal will be a one-stop platform for all official statistics using advanced technology to integrate existing and future databases of administrative statistics and survey data across government offices, sectors, geographies and time. Once fully operational at the national level, it will facilitate real-time monitoring of the Indian economy. We are also working towards the development of computer application for general survey instrument, which may be interpreted as framing a general set solution for conducting all surveys under NSO and their processing. The ultimate goal of this project is to become a one-stop platform for all surveys embedded with real-time validation system and self-assistance /learning video modules. The application would be made available to all central and state governments for their future surveys. The ministry, as the nodal ministry of the government on statistical matters, provides support to central and state governments to improve statistical processes and products in the country in line with global standards. On my own behalf and on behalf of the ministry, I convey a sincere gratitude and appreciation to all individuals and organizations who have partnered with the ministry over the years. We intend to deepen and strengthen this association in the next few years so that society can gain from their technological expertise and India continues to shine globally. On Statistics Day, the ministry also recognizes the outstanding contribution for high-quality research work in the field of applied and theoretical statistics, benefiting the official statistical system through the C.R. Rao and P.V. Sukhatme Awards, awarded in alternate years. For 2020, I have the pleasure of congratulating Dr. Arvind Pandey and Dr. A.C. Kulshestra on receiving the P.V. Sukhatme Award for their outstanding and meritorious research in theoretical and applied statistics, as well as contribution to the official statistical system. We wish them the very best for all their future endeavors while looking forward to their future association with the national statistical system. The dedicated and sincere officers are the base of the national statistical system. Their efforts and intellectual inputs in bringing out official statistics for use in government and the society at large also needs to be acknowledged. My ministry has instituted a new award, PC Mahalanobis National Award in Official Statistics for recognizing outstanding achievement of official statisticians in central government, state government, and institutions. I am happy to announce Professor PC Mahalanobis Award goes to Dr. C. Rangarajan for his path-breaking recommendation for holistic statistical reforms that paved the way for the present-day national statistical system. I wish him the very best for his future. I also applaud all my young friends, the participants as well as the winners of the on-the-spot essay writing competition 2020. These students are the future of SDGs. I wish them a very bright future and look forward to their active association with MOSPI in the days and years to come. In conclusion, I am proud to state that my ministry is embracing technology and contemporary techniques, both extensively and intensively, so that statistics continues to be of a very high order, reliable, credible, and trustworthy. The long and outstanding collaboration of national statistical systems has also led to the formation of a global statistical system whose members use a common language to share their experiences and to advance official statistics at the global level. I once again urge and look forward to the statistics fraternity to join hands and work together to strengthen and steer the official statistical system accordingly. I extend my good wishes, health and safety to one and all on this Statistics Day. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your illuminating words. We do look forward to your guidance as ever. Feeling gratitude and not presenting it is like wrapping a gift and not giving it. I now request Mr. S.V. Ramanamurthy, Additional Director General, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, to put on record our appreciation of all the dignitaries and the attendees for the successful completion of this celebration. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon. Respected Honorable Minister of State, Independent in Charge for Statistics and Program Implementation, Shri Rao Inderjeet Singh Ji, Dr. Vivek Debroy, Chairman EAC to PM and President ISI Council, Professor Bimal Roy, Chairman NSC, Shri Praveen Srivastava, CSI and Secretary MOSPI, DGs Madam Shailaja and Asit Sadhu, distinguished speakers, colleagues and friends. It's my privilege to propose a formal vote of thanks to this August, rather we call virtual gathering for Statistics Day. The main theme for the Statistics Day, as we have all come to know, is SDGs, and the focus has been on health and empowerment of women. I would like to express my deepest sense of gratitude to the Honorable Minister of State for Statistics and Program Implementation and Minister of Planning, Shri Rao Inderjeet Singh, for his encouraging words and putting forward the Vision 2024 of the Ministry. Sir, you have rightly emphasized the need of data for real-time monitoring of the socio-economic aspects of the country. The technological interventions like the introduction of NIIP and GSS, which is now called E-Sigma, is a step towards in this direction. Sir, your blessings have always been a motivating factor for us, and we wish to seek your support in our future endeavors also. I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Vivek Debroy, Chairman EAC to PM, and President ISI for his insightful and thought-provoking thoughts on comments on the SDGs and the role of statistics, and is also thanking for presenting the award to Dr. Rangarajan virtually. I convey my thanks to Professor Bimal Roy, Chairman NSE, for giving an insight into the contribution of Professor Mahalanobis on the Indian statistical system and the story behind the Mahalanobis distance. Your kind words will encourage the researchers and statistical fraternity. So, I'm also thankful to Professor Bandyopadhyay, Director ISI, for her kind words and affirming commitment to the Indian Statistical Institute towards achieving SDG 5 and 3. Although she raised certain concerns regarding use of data, but I assure her that SDG's platform is being used to address your concerns. I would like to thank Sri Praveen Srivastav, CSI Secretary and MOSPI, under whose able guidance and leadership the Ministry is able to introduce a lot of new initiatives which will bring a paradigm shift in the official statistical system of the country. I'm also thankful to him for being part of the event right from conceiving to his giving the final touches. I also express my thanks to our DGs, Dr. Asit Kumar Sathu and Dr. Shailaja Sharma, for their valuable suggestions from time to time for making the event a grand success. Especially Dr. Shailaja Sharma for laying down the context of the Statistics Day in a welcome address so well. I take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. C. Rangarajan, Chairman, Madras School of Economics, who has always been a source of inspiration to us statisticians, for being conferred the Professor P.C. Mahalanobis National Award in Official Statistics for lifetime contribution. Incidentally, I also worked with him in the 12th Finance Commission, where he was the chairman. I also congratulate Professor Arvind Pandey and Dr. A.C. Kulsrestha for jointly getting Professor P.V. Sukhatme National Award in Statistics. I congratulate the university students for participating and winning prizes on the essay contest. I express my sincere thanks to Madam Preeti Sudan, Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, for highlighting the importance of data during the COVID pandemic and discussing the flow of health data through survey and administrative sources. You have rightly appreciated the role of statistics and technology, which is also being used in Arogya Setu app in fighting the pandemic. A lot of data is being collated for getting useful information on extent and spread of COVID pandemic. I convey my sincere thanks to Ms. Renata Desalin, UN Resident Coordinator in India, for putting her views on challenges for statistical system in the wake of COVID-19. We agree with you that the COVID-19 pandemic has put tremendous challenges in achieving the SDGs, and we also agree that SDG activities need prioritization and localization. Thank you for your continued support. I am thankful to Mr. Ordaz, Vice President, Integration Analysis and Research at INEGI, Government of Mexico, for discussing the monitoring of SDGs in the face of COVID-19 and the efforts made by Mexican government in monitoring SDG 3 and 5. You are right, sir, that the 2030 agenda has become useful in the consolidation of national statistical system and augmentation of statistical capacity building. I am thankful to Ms. Anita Bhatia, Deputy Executive Director, UN Women, for highlighting the importance of gender equality in achieving SDGs and recognizing the importance of timely and quality data for monitoring of SDGs. I express my sincere thanks to Ms. Gemma Halderen, Director Statistics Division, SCAP, UN SCAP, for emphasizing the need of data integration for bridging the data gaps in SDG monitoring. The examples of Australia and New Zealand given by you need to be replicated across the globe. Thank Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, President FICCI and Joint Managing Director, Apollo Hospitals Limited, for her speech on impact of COVID-19 on the health sector, women's contribution, and the appropriate use of statistics for informed decisions. My colleagues, Ms. Bhanumati and Sri Pankaj Shreyaskar, have done a tremendous job in comparing, and thanks to the team of ITDC and NIC and our media team for the smooth conduct of this program. This event would not have been possible without the officials from the CAP division led by my colleague Sri Syriac. I also thank the efforts of my own division led by Madam Shailaja, Asutosh, Sanjay, and many other officers who work behind the scenes in getting the releases on time. I would like to thank all the distinguished panelists and eminent speakers who have taken their time out of their busy schedule to attend this program. I would like to thank all the invitees who have attended this Statistics Day 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We have now come to end of today's celebration at this forum. Our journey in search of transcendence and in the pursuit of excellence would continue. Our relentlessness towards development of a world-class statistical system while engaging with all our stakeholders through workshops and seminars would be manifested at another forum soon. Till then, stay safe, maintain social distance, and uphold the warmth all around. Just a small announcement. The proceedings of the day, including the speeches of the dignitaries, are available for stakeholders. Thank you so very much. Thank you, sir.
क्रिकेट मैच की बारीकियां समझाते एक्सपर्ट्स